Doug Bell along with Dave Craig. And Dave, the Falcons are right in the thick of the playoff picture.
Well, the Falcons are at 6-6. They still have all kinds of chances. They're playing 3 AFC opponents. So in other words, what that means is New Orleans and Tampa Bays and the San Franciscos and Washingtons might knock each other off, so the Falcons can sneak into the playoff hunt. And not to mention the Colts are still in it, but the Falcons are more mathematically in it than the Colts are.
Dan Reeves, 57 years young, told us yesterday he's still very excited about coaching, about this football team, and it's a veteran bunch that knows what they have to do to get into the playoffs. Jim Mora, 66 years old, in terrific physical condition, had that tirade a few weeks ago when his team lost, but that seemingly has been put to rest. Everyone very positive in the Colts camp. Jay Feely will kick off for the Falcons, and Tony Simmons is deep for Indianapolis. A man from NFL Europe looking to resurrect his career. A few years ago, he was pretty tough with the Patriots. Simmons fields at the 9 and gets brought down at the 21-yard line. A 12-yard return. And here comes Peyton Manning. We talked to Peyton Manning for almost an hour. And he was almost apologetic about what's happening. Ryan Deem moves in at right guard. He played there on Monday night against the Dolphins. He's the rookie. They like him very much. They say he's just playing better than Larry Moore, the veteran. You see Dominic Rhodes and Reggie Wayne, also 2 rookies. Rhodes starting in place of the injured Edgerrin James. This is Rhodes over the right side. He's wrestled down after a gain of 2 yards. And here's the Falcons up front defensively. A solid, if not spectacular group. Smith, Dronette, Hall, and Kearney. Draft, Brooking, and Crockett are the linebacking core. Brooking having a Pro Bowl type year. We talked about Ambrose and Buchanan. McBurrows and Bradford are the strong safety and free safety. It's 2nd down and 9. That's Pollard in motion. And a free play for Peyton Manning. They blew it dead. Shane Dronette jumped on that right side.
Well, for Peyton Manning, that's a good job. I mean, that's an experienced move on his part.
Before the ball was snapped, number 81, Indianapolis, false start. 5 yards, repeat 2nd down.
That's Marcus Pollard, the man who's in motion.
Well, what we see is Peyton Manning's up there early in the game. The defense is ready to penetrate and come after you quick, so it's a good time to use the hard count to get screen plays, and hard counts are good early in the game, and Peyton Manning showed exactly why right there.
Peyton Manning told us now 2nd and 14 that he would go on that hard count, the quick count, to try to throw off the Falcons defense. That time he threw off Marcus Pollard. Manning with time. Overshoots an open Marcus Pollard. Pollard, the young man out of Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois. He was a college basketball star there. Did play high school football in Lynette, Alabama, where John Copeland, Lemansky Hall were his high school teammates. So he has a little football background, Dave.
He has a little football background, but he hasn't played 4 years of college. That's an attribute to his athletic ability to be able to come in here and not play college football and still come in and play in the pros.
3rd down and 14. Trevor Inslee, Reggie Wayne in there for the Colts, along with Marvin Harrison. Peyton was forced to throw quickly to Dominic Rhodes, so it'll bring on the punting unit. That's exactly what the Falcons were hoping to do.
Peyton got up kind of slowly there with his left knee. I'm not sure what happened, but we talked about the pressure with Chris Chandler. That time the Falcons were able to put pressure on Peyton Manning, made him get rid of the ball quick.
Darian Gordon is having a terrific season in his own right. Lined up at the 40. Hunter Smith will boot it away for the Colts. A wobbly kick. Gordon lets it bounce on the turf. And the Falcons will have excellent field position. And that has been a big problem for this Colts defense, field position. Chris Chandler, 14 years ago, just 22 years old, out of the University of Washington, was drafted in the 3rd round by the Colts. And now he's back, Dave. And he told us yesterday he's excited to be playing here again.
Well, he's glad to come back. He's just glad that they're in the playoff picture right now. And he's actually feeling better. He told us that Friday was when the soreness finally wore off after that 9-sack performance against the Saints.
Excellent field position for the Falcons. And the pitch back to Bob Christian. Christian gets knocked out of bounds up around the 50-yard line. A 7-yard pickup. You see Forney and Garza, the two rookies, getting the start today for the Falcons. Bob Whitfield, the veteran. McClure and Claridge. There's the weapons. Christian at fullback started that time in place of Maurice Smith, who's still a bit wobbly with his bad ankle and knee. Martin Kelly and Mathis are the wideouts. There's Bob Christian. His 9th year out of Northwestern. Second down and 3. Christian again. That time gets thrown for a loss. Chad Bratsky along with Chucky Wokori. Lost a yard. Bratsky, Johnson, Williams, and Wokori, the front four for the Colts. Phillips, Sword, and Washington, the linebacking core. Sword getting the start in place of the injured Rob Morris. Idris Bashir, the rookie out of Memphis. Macklin, Cota, and Burris make up the secondary for the Colts. The crowd making some noise. 3rd down and 4. No one in the backfield. That's Christian. Sliding back. Chandler's first pass incomplete. And the Falcons will punt the football.
Well, that's been a problem with the Falcons all year, is not converting on the 3rd down situations. There it was 3rd and 4. And you would expect that Chris Chandler, being the veteran that he is, and Tony Martin, they'd be able to hit a simple out pattern. But these are the problems that have caused the Falcons to have trouble all year. Although, in fact, they do score the most points of just about anybody in the NFL, scoring 81 points. They start off fast, and they kind of fizzle out as the game goes on.
Chris Moore, the veteran punter, who the Falcons signed after he spent 12 years with Buffalo, will kick away to Trevor Inslee. Inslee calls for the fair catch and falls down at the 16-yard line. We'll take a break. Both teams 3 and out. The Colts' second possession coming up after this. We're back in Indianapolis, where Santa needs to wash that beard, I think. For the Colts, the last 5 games, nothing to write home about. You know, that Dolphins game really turned things around, the first Dolphins game, because they were leading when Peyton Manning got knocked out, Dave. And since then, things have really gone downhill.
And it shows the loss of the impact of an Edgerrin James as well.
First down from the 16. Manning straight back. And Reggie Wayne on the outside makes a terrific catch for a first down. Wayne working against Ronnie Bradford on the outside. Actually, that's Ashley Ambrose.
Well, that's a good route run. It's a play action. And what Reggie Wayne's going to do is just going to come down and break out here. And Ashley Ambrose just gives him a little bit of room. And the accuracy of Peyton Manning right there. It's a good start for Reggie Wayne, a rookie starting off his first catch right here.
Wayne has battled some injury problems. A first-round draft pick out of Miami. Terrence Wilkins, the veteran, is injured himself against the Dolphins, so Wayne gets the start. Dominic Rhodes, big hole over the left side. First down and more. Rhodes up to the 49-yard line, a 22-yard pickup.
Well, this is the type of thing that Colts have been looking for since they've lost Edgerrin James. Dominic Rhodes getting off to a fast start as well. You can see that Dominic's very happy, and the Colts are happy as well. He just takes the ball, runs off tackle there. Good job, kick out by the lineman. Big hole right there. He's not touched till he gets in his secondary. Reggie Wayne's downfield putting a good block on. Good start for the Colts. They haven't had much success with their running game. And to see Dominic Rhodes do that early has to be encouraging to Tom Moore.
First and 10. The ball is just short of the 50-yard line. Again, there's that play action fake. Manning wide open, Marcus Pollard. That's Reggie Wayne, excuse me. He's all the way down to the 27, so Reggie Wayne has been quite a weapon on this drive.
Well, it shows there how effective the running game can be. They like to do play action. Peyton Manning comes back and fakes to Dominic Rhodes. He extends the ball out. He looks downfield. He sees Reggie Wayne coming across from left to right, and Peyton Manning does a good job just getting over the top of the linebacker. Reggie Wayne should put that ball away a little bit quicker, but a well-run route. Marvin Harrison cleared it out, and Reggie Wayne came across for his second catch of the day.
Wayne is wide left. Marvin Harrison at the bottom of your screen on the right side. Again, the play action fake. Manning looking for Wayne again. He's open. Another first down. Out of bounds at the 11-yard line. A 15-yard pass to Reggie Wayne.
Anytime that you have a good running game or start of a good running game, it makes it a lot easier for the offensive linemen. They've been enabling them to give good protection to Peyton Manning, and with his accuracy, getting one-on-one coverage, that's all you can ask for in a pass route. Reggie Wayne starting off good for a rookie, 3 catches.
73 yards in 4 plays for the Colts. Peyton Manning changing the play. 1st and 10 from the 11. Here comes the blitz. Dominic Rhodes runs right by it and scores a touchdown. Dominic Rhodes, his 6th touchdown of the season. That was an impressive drive, Dave.
Well, the Colts made that look very simple. Run here, a couple play action passes, you're down there, and Dominic Rhodes takes it in for the touchdown.
Mike Vanderjagt on for the extra point. And it's 7-0 Indianapolis. That was a 5-play drive, all 5 plays, 11 yards or more. Dominic Rhodes, untouched for the touchdown.
Well, you talk about simple, it can't be much more simpler than this. Chris Draft, the linebacker for the Falcons, comes up here. McKinney goes around here and kicks out. And then you can see it makes it so simple for Dominic Rhodes. Good block by Marvin Harrison. Untouched into the end zone. Very simple. Touchdown Colts.
Vanderjagt kicks off. Derek Vaughn is the deep man. Fields the ball at the 12. Breaks a tackle. And again, excellent field position for the Falcons. Up to the 47-yard line. A 32-yard return. Clifton Crosby finally brought him down. The Colts are giving up yardage, but they're on top, 7-0. Colts back in 1988, a 3rd-round selection. Earned all rookie honors, youngest starting quarterback in the NFL at the time. Started after the 4th game, led the Colts to a 9-4 record. And ironically, it was a game against the Falcons in '89 that ended his career with the Colts. Now he's worked his way back, and the Falcons have worked their way into good field position again. That's Maurice Smith banging his way over the right side. Ryan Phillips trips him up.
Well, they keep talking about Maurice Smith and his bad ankle, but every week they're not sure he's going to get in there and play, and he comes in and does a good job, and that was a good run right there by Maurice Smith. His ankle looks pretty good the first part of the first quarter.
He's toughing it out, a big guy, 6 feet 235, out of North Carolina A&T, a 7-yard pickup. Chandler looking for his first completion. Overshoots Terrence Mathis.
2nd and 3, kind of an odd call that you would go for without even a play action, just a straight drop back there. And Chris overthrew Terrence Mathis that time. But sometimes you get a defense coming up, they're expecting that you're going to run, and that's what the Falcons probably thought right there. But just dropped back and threw it about 40 yards downfield. But you want to keep your drives going, and one way to do that would have been, maybe to run on 2nd and 3, where you can get it to 3rd and short, or maybe even get it on the running play.
Chris Chandler has played with 6 teams in his NFL career, just like my partner, Dave Craig. Sean Jefferson in motion. Chandler bobbles the football, has to fall on it. And again, the Falcons come up with nothing after excellent field position.
That's something that shouldn't happen to especially an experienced quarterback, and Todd McClure and Chris Chandler have been taking snaps all year. That snap just goes off to the right, and usually when a snap goes that far off to the right, it might be the center trying to get after his block so quick, and now that's not good when your quarterback is chasing a fumble down when it's 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4.
The Falcons 2 drives so far, 2 3-and-outs. Chris Moore, known for a high kicks another spiraling kick. But Trevor Inslee calls for the fair catch. 42-yard kick for Chris Moore. We'll be back. The Colts offense
Well, we talk about, the fundamental things here, and right here, Trevor Inslee, he knows he's on the 10-yard line. You don't want to catch a punt inside your 10-yard line. A cardinal mistake right there by the young fella out of the World Football League or NFL Europe.
Dominic Rhodes, first carry after that touchdown, goes nowhere. Shane Dronette clogs up the hole. Chris Moore has pinned the Colts back inside the 20 on both his punts. Of course, that last drive didn't seem to bother the Colts.
Chris Moore does a good job doing that. Here's another situation. I know last time he tried to get the Falcons to jump off sides, but Marcus Pollard jumped. But here you get a chance for a free 5 yards. It's only half the distance against your own team if you do jump.
2nd and 10. Manning straight back. Looks for Marvin Harrison. It's a first down. Harrison gets hit hard by Mark Suno, but not before another first down.
Well, Marvin Harrison talked all week about, if you want the pressure off you, get the ball in my hands. Like any receiver, he's asking for the football. Reggie Wayne got the ball the first 3 times, and now they're going to Marvin Harrison. Peyton Manning just drops back here. A short little in route there is a zone defense. Found him perfectly. Big gain.
1st and 10. Peyton again. Looks to the outside. Dangerous pass. Looking for Harrison in and out of his hands.
Well, that's one of the things.
Crockett was right there, almost picked it off.
That's one of the things where I guess you have a lot of confidence in your arm, and if anybody does, it would be Peyton Manning. He knows where Marvin Harrison's going to be on his routes, but that one was kind of tricky right there. And Peyton knew what he was doing, but these are kind of throws that get Peyton Manning in trouble and have in the last 6-7 weeks. But Marvin should have caught that ball. It was right on the money.
Trevor Inslee in the slot, replacing Marcus Pollard. 2nd down and 10. Ken Dilger leading the way for Dominic Rhodes, who gets thrown down quickly after a 2-yard gain. Travis Hall wrapped him up.
Well, I know we talked in the intro earlier about Ray Buchanan's going to be covering Marvin Harrison, but when you're in a zone defense, you can't cover him all the time man-to-man, and that was the case in the play before that where Marvin Harrison got open. So right now we'll see Ray Buchanan's on Reggie Wayne this time, and Ashley Ambrose is going to have Marvin Harrison.
Harrison lines up on the left side. He's been doing that the last couple of weeks, normally on the right side of Peyton Manning. Jump off to Dominic Rhodes. And the Colts will be forced to kick.
Peyton's taking a lot of flack about going deep when he has underneath routes. That time I don't think he was patient enough. He had Ken Dilger or Marcus Pollard open on an 8 or 10-yard out route. He chose to throw it to Dominic Rhodes underneath. Doing the patient, safe thing, no doubt about it, but there was an opportunity downfield for him as well. Sometimes you get too safe when people are saying that you're forcing the ball.
Darian Gordon hanging out at the 30-yard line. Awaiting this kick from Hunter Smith. A big, booming, spiraling kick that sends Gordon back to the 18. Looking for his blocks. Breaking some tackles and still going, and finally brought down at the 31-yard line. A 55-yard boot, a 13-yard return for Darian Gordon. Chad Cota, the strong safety for the Colts, wearing not only that shield on his helmet, but you can see that bandage over his nose. He suffered a severe gash on the bridge of his nose on Monday night against the Dolphins. In fact, it was a nickel-sized hole on the bridge of his nose that the plastic surgeon had to repair on Tuesday. He was back at practice Wednesday. Maurice Smith working on the left side. Let's check in with JB for this NFL update.
Hey, Doug, the Bears look to be driving for a surefire touchdown. Simeon Rice had other ideas. His 7th sack for Chicago to settle for the field goal in a 3-0 lead. And then Todd Bauman's 2nd career start, picked off by Todd Light. Great defensive positioning via Todd Light. He takes it 59 yards for the score. Detroit trying to win its first game of the season, up 7-0. Back to Doug Bell and Dave Craig.
JB, thank you. We'll see if the Lions can get that first W today. That's something. They've lost so many close games. This is Chucky Wakori on the turf for the Colts. We'll come back, check in on Chucky. The Colts lead 7-0.
Well, we'll see what happens with Chucky Wakori right here. He got just Christian just ran, slammed into him. He got his leg caught underneath him. It's always good to see him running off the field. That's a lot better feeling than after laying there for a while. So that's good to see Chucky running off the field.
Chucky Wakori grew up in Nigeria, played his college football at nearby Purdue University, and Jim Mora really likes Chucky Wakori. He thinks he's just coming into his own. It's 2nd down and 3 for the Falcons. Smith over the right side. Stretching for the first down marker. He'll be just shy. We'll check the flag. Here the Colts jumped.
Where's your spot?
Chandler is one of the best with the cadence.
Offside, number 90, Indianapolis, 5 yards. By measurement, that's a first down.
Let's listen to Chandler's hard count.
A lot of defensive coordinators will be looking for the head bob in that situation. But we talked before, Peyton Manning tried to do it to get the Falcons to jump off sides, and inadvertently Marcus Pollard jumped. This time was effective for Chris Chandler. He's been doing it for a number of years, and you influx your voice, that cadence, the hut, that hard hut. Them defensive linemen still in the first quarter, eager to get across the line of scrimmage.
5 across for the Colts on 1st and 10. Chandler hands off to Bob Christian. A play that just didn't look good from the start. Chad Bratsky blew it up.
It was way too late developing, getting the ball to Christian. It was a real too long of a draw play, and allowed the defensive line to get across there. Bratsky's going to come up the field here. Chris Chandler's going to come back. They really don't sell the draw that much, and Whitfield lets him go so quick that by the time Christian got the ball, Bratsky was on him, and now you're in the 2nd and long situation after just getting a free 5 yards.
It's 2nd down and 11. Bob Christian behind Chandler. He takes the handoff right up the gut. Gets past the 50-yard line. Corey Bird trips him up. 7-yard pickup for Christian, who's averaging 8.9 yards a carry on the season.
Well, they give the ball to Christian here, and he runs right up the middle. Sometimes when you pull linemen, and like the Colts were talking about earlier in the week, they want to use dogs or linebackers coming to disrupt the running play. Sometimes you run right by him, you can gash that hole, and that's what Bob Christian did here. Now they have to convert. They haven't converted yet on a 3rd down. It's only 3rd and 5 or less. This should be a good opportunity for them to continue this drive.
Chandler straight back on 3rd down, has time. Looking for Tony Martin. Incomplete. Nearly intercepted by Nick Harper.
That's 2 plays now where it's been 3rd down, 4 or 5 or less, and they've thrown the ball 30, 40 yards downfield. That time Chris Chandler could have kept the ball outside a little bit. Tony Martin had a much better opportunity, but he wasn't able to keep the ball outside, almost threw an interception. And again, Dan Reeves can't be too happy about this punting like this to get the ball to the 50, but they can't do anything past that.
Chris Moore, his 3rd punt.
Get rid of him.
Another high kick, Trevor Inslee. We'll let this one bounce, and the Falcons will down it inside the 5-yard line. Chris Moore's been a weapon, a 47-yard punt. Jervey jumps on it for the Falcons, and the Colts will be backed up. Coming up in the 2nd half of our doubleheader, Brett Favre and the Packers will look to stay on top of the NFC Central when they take on Steve McNair and the Tennessee Titans. A full day of NFL action continues next on Fox. Amazing how durable he has been, playing through lots of pain, Dave.
153 times starting in this league right now. That's something to look at. That shows a lot of toughness on Brett Favre's part. And then right behind him, you've got Peyton Manning.
Dominic Rhodes looks to the left side, finds a gaping hole. Big pickup for Rhodes.
I'll tell you what, we're seeing a Colts offense that they look like they started off with the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. I know they don't have Edgerrin James right now, but they're still making the plays that they have to make, even though Edgerrin James not here. You can see Peyton Manning takes the ball and Dominic Rhodes gets out there. You get a man on a man. Howard Mudd has to be happy with this. You get a man on a man. The first guy that touches you is in the secondary. A great running play.
9-yard pickup. Rhodes has 45 on the day. Hand off over the right side. Edgerrin James is in Miami. That's where he lives, and he's rehabbing his knee down in South Florida. And according to all reports, he's very happy with the Colts, and he's looking forward to returning despite some other stories that have gone on in the media.
Well, the thing with rehab nowadays is a player will go get a surgery done somewhere else. He'll get the initial part of his rehab done in Miami or wherever he is. Then he'll come back to the Colts training facility to work on and do some more of his conditioning work.
3rd down and 1. Jim Finn blocking for Rhodes. He's close to the first down. He gets the first down.
You know, we saw the graphic there, losing their edge. Losing Edgerrin James has a big effect, has had a big effect on the Colts. It's had a big effect on Peyton Manning. And just the confidence factor. You know you got a guy like Edgerrin James back there. All of a sudden you lose him almost halfway through the season. It has a big effect on your team, and it's taken a while for the Colts to get used to it. And right now today it looks like they've kind of gotten used to it. They're getting back to their old selves again.
It's 1st and 10 from the 15. Play action fake. Manning with lots of time. Wide open over the middle is Marcus Pollard. His first grab of the day. 27 yards.
Again, the running game and the play action, it opens up the field for your tight end down the middle. It opens everything up for the play action, the protection. Peyton Manning drops back here. He actually had Marcus Pollard open real quick. He got on the ball. Again, they get out of bad field position. Chris Moore put him back there. Trevor Inslee did what he was supposed to do the last time. He let the ball go, but the Colts are able to get the ball out of bad field position. And now they got the ball on the 40 looking to go into the plus area of the Falcons.
95 yards passing for Peyton Manning. Dominic Rhodes over the left side. Gets hit hard by Andre Crockett. Good solid tackle by Crockett, the 5th-year veteran out of Florida State.
That's the end of the first quarter.
We'll be back. Chad Cota watching as his Colts lead the Falcons 7-0. Got a poor field position again. Absolutely no pressure on Peyton Manning, and he's eating up this Falcons defense. Manning to Marvin Harrison. And the ball breaks free, but they say he was down.
Pass receiver is ruled down by contact. 3rd down.
Let's check in with JB.
Hey, Doug, here's a guy who wishes he was already down. James Stewart out with an injury. Avion.
B, that hurts. Dave, you're getting passed.
At least my name is up there. That's okay.
There you go. It's 3rd and 1. In the play action fake, lots of time. Wide open. First down. Marvin Harrison. 12 yards. This is like practice when there's no defense.
That's exactly right. I mean, that's what you look for, the protection from the... We'll look back to the other play, though, where Ray Buchanan, the experienced veteran that he is with Marvin Harrison, tries to strip the ball out. What I guess the referees did was blow the whistle. It looked like Marvin's left knee was down, but it's neither here nor there. That play is done with, and it wasn't challenged by anybody, but it was close.
Good look at Ray Buchanan, who had to get 25 tickets for friends and relatives who are here today watching. Peyton Manning again, lots of time over the middle. Looking for Marcus Pollard, who was surrounded.
You know, we start out the game talking about the Falcons have a chance to get in the playoffs, but here we got an all-rookie drive. Dominic Rhodes gets the ball and starts off here. Reggie Wayne comes across from University of Miami, making his first start, catches one pass, then another. Dominic Rhodes, the rookie, finishes off all-rookie drive for the Colts, puts them ahead 7-0. And the Falcons are the ones trying to get in the playoffs, but the Colts are the one executing their offense a lot better in the first quarter, as we saw.
2nd and 10. Manning to Dominic Rhodes. Rhodes jukes Brooking and then gets knocked out of bounds. at the 23-yard line. Let's check back in with James Brown. JB.
Doug, take a look at what Mike McMahon does here. Does a kid have an arm or what? I know Dave Craig can appreciate this. He drills it 69 yards back to Scotty Anderson, and then on the very next play, it's a 1-yard keeper by McMahon. He takes it in Detroit. Now back on top, 14-7. And Doug, tell Dave that was not a diss at all. He is still in the top 10. Back to Doug and Dave.
There you go.
I tell you what, I can't appreciate a 70-yard throw, but I can appreciate a Mike McMahon getting an opportunity and taking advantage of it.
It's 1st and 10 for the Colts. Peyton Manning making it look so easy. Dilger is tied in, wide open for another positive gain.
Well, the Colts are just systematically going down the field. They're taking slants. They're getting the ball to Ken Dilger, who hasn't really been a big part of this offense with the emergence of a Marcus Pollard. Marcus Pollard's come out here and talking to Greg Brown, the secondary coach for the Falcons, saying, we have to keep an eye on this guy, and they still have Ken Dilger. So they have a lot of weapons with the Colts offense, and they're utilizing them all today.
Trevor Inslee in the slot. To the left, Reggie Wayne wide left, Harrison at the top on the right side of Peyton Manning. Dominic Rhodes right up the middle. Down to the 11-yard line. 7-yard pickup. 1st and 10 Indianapolis.
You know, we talked earlier about the Falcons, or the Colts actually putting pressure on the Falcons using run dogs, and right here we see the linebackers for the Falcons coming up there, and like I said before, you get through that first line of defense, you're into the secondary, and that's not good when your secondary is making more tackles than your linemen and linebackers.
Don Blackman, first-year defensive coordinator for the Falcons, experiencing some growing pains, replacing Rich Brooks, the veteran who retired. There you see 11-1 in first downs, Colts against the Falcons. Dominic Rhodes. Same play as before. This time they trip him up just short of the goal line.
They're just executing. The offensive line for the Colts is just manhandling the Falcons defense right here. And if we get a chance, we'll see Adam Meadows right here. Adam Meadows is right here. He's going to go take his man, whips one guy away from him, and I think he gets on Chris Draft and holds on to him for the whole time. And Dominic Rhodes goes, untouched into the close to the end zone right there. So you're seeing great line play by the Indianapolis Colts right here. Howard Mudd has to be very proud and happy of those guys.
1st and goal from the 1. That was an 11-yard pickup for Rhodes. Play action fake. Manning wide open. Touchdown. Marcus Pollard. His 7th touchdown catch of the season. Wide open. Oh, the basketball player stuffs it.
Of course, what did you expect? That's what he's known for.
He told us he still has hops.
He still has those hops. He got up there and slammed it through.
That's Pollard's first touchdown at home this season.
Then he throws the ball to the sideline.
Wants to keep it. 96-yard drive. They shredded the Falcons defense. Jack kicks the extra point. And it's 14-0. The Falcons have had the field position, but it hasn't bothered the Colts, who started from their own 4-yard line, and Pollard wide open. It's all Colts. 14-0 over Atlanta. The Colts offense, you see what they did against the Dolphins today. Wow, Dave.
Well, you can tell, too, they're getting a lot of gains, 11 yards or more. There's not many third-down conversions they have to make. The Falcons aren't making any of them.
Vanderjagt kicking off. Fielded at the 20-yard line is Darian Gordon. Check that, Derek Vaughn. Huge return to the 38-yard line. And again, the Falcons seemingly in business. 42-yard return. Colts continue to struggle on kickoff coverage.
The advantage of having a running game is evident here. The linebackers for the Falcons get sucked up, and Marcus Pollard gets open right behind in the end zone. Right here you show Dominic Rhodes. He just got the ball onto the 1-yard line, enables Marcus Pollard to run free in the end zone. Touchdown, Colts.
Again, excellent field position for the Falcons, still looking for their first pass completion of the day. Their only first down came thanks to a penalty. Maurice Smith bowls his way forward. A good gain for the Falcons on first down. A gain of 5.
You know, you'd think you'd see more out of the Falcons. 6-6, trying to get into playoffs. The Colts are playing with just, you know, a lot of confidence. They're playing comfortable, almost like a preseason game type atmosphere. They know that, you know, we lost 5 in a row. Let's just go out and have fun. They look like they're having fun. The Colts look like they're trying. I mean, the Falcons look like they're trying too hard.
2nd down and 5. The pitch back to Maurice Smith. Flag down on the play. Smith gets popped and tripped up at the same time. False start against the Falcons. Send them back.
The ball was snapped. False start. Number 71, Atlanta. 5 yards. Repeat 2nd down.
Okay. Well, we've talked about, you know, the problem here. Travis Claridge, right tackle right there, is going to jump. You know, they got situations where players are just doing things, anticipating, maybe trying to do too much. Like I talked about, they're not playing as loose as the Indianapolis Colts are right now. The Falcons just seem to be playing a little bit tight, making the small mistakes.
2nd and 10. Chandler, play action, has time. Owen was open, looking for Tony Martin. Good coverage. Chucky Wakori back in there. You see 91. He hobbled off earlier.
Well, the play was designed to go downfield to Terrence Mathis. And I guess the good thing for Chris Chandler is he did have time after the play action fake to Christian right here. He comes around, he looks for Mathis, he looks for his secondary receiver, doesn't find him, and he sees Tony Martin just stopping right there. But the Colts seem to be recognizing the patterns of the Falcons right here and stopping them. And now they're into another 3rd down situation, which I don't think they've converted all day.
Chris Chandler looking for his first completion. He's 0 for 4. 3rd down. Has time. Over the middle. Caught. 1st down. That's Tony Martin. 16-yard pickup.
See Chris Chandler dropping back here. Tony Martin just runs an in route. Finneran clears it out for him. And then he puts the ball on the money. He's kind of aiming it a little bit to make sure that he get his first pass completion. It'd have been terrible if they'd have wasted that good field position they had. So good 1st down for him. Now they got a chance to get back in this game.
Tony Martin slowly coming back from some injuries. It's 1st and 10. Chandler looking in the end zone. Terrence Mathis. Flag down. David Macklin on the coverage. Macklin a little too close to Terrence Mathis, although it went off his fingertips, Dave. It was close.
It didn't look really like a big deal. They looked like they got their legs tangled together. But they had that matchup that they wanted. They had Terrence Mathis against David Macklin. They went for the go route. Now the referees, they're conferring on whether it was pass interference on offense or defense. I don't see Terrence Mathis that did anything right there.
Pass interference, number 27, Indianapolis. 1st down, Atlanta.
Well, right here, Terrence Mathis gets up on David Macklin, just runs right by him. David Macklin turns around. He just pushes him a little bit with the left hand, but Terrence had a chance to catch the ball. I'm not sure that was a call that was necessary right there. Terrence did have a chance to catch it. There was a little incidental contact and nothing more than that.
The Falcons looking to take advantage of this excellent field position.
But I agree, Dan Reeves will take whatever he gets right there. I mean, they're down 14-0. They need to get a score. They need to get a touchdown. And that puts them in good field position right now.
That penalty was the biggest gain of the day for Atlanta so far. Penalties have been their best friend. 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. Maurice Smith over the right side. Gets stood up.
Marcus Washington.
Sam Sword got in there as well.
It's good to talk about Sam Sword. He's getting a chance to play today because of the injury to Rob Morris. Here you see Chris Chandler giving the ball to Maurice Smith, and you know, they're gang tackling. When you see things like that, it looks a lot different than it did last Monday night. The Colts are in there playing good, solid defense, and Sam Sword's in there amongst all of that. And, you know, he's getting his chance, and he's taking advantage of that.
2nd and goal. The pitch back to Bob Christian, looking for a block. He stretches in there for the touchdown.
You don't normally think of Bob Christian stretching it out and running a sweep in for a touchdown. He had to run about 25, 30 yards just to get 3 yards forward. He's more of a power running back. But again, to Bob Christian's credit, he saw the end zone, let the play develop. It was a long developing play. And the Falcons put it in the end zone, make it 14-6 right now. Bob Whitfield gets out there, does a good job cutting people down, and then Christian knows what to do with the football once he gets close to the end zone.
Jay Feely on for the extra point. And it's good. And the Falcons do take advantage of that field position. They cut into the lead. The Colts 14, Falcons 7. Back to Indy after this. The Falcons have cashed in to cut into the lead. Terrence Mathis, that was a big penalty that helped that drive.
Like I was telling you, pass interference penalties are okay, but I wish it would be more blatant, something more obvious. There wasn't really much there, and it's a free gift to the Falcons. I'd rather see them earn that in that regard. Like I said, Dan Reeves, I'm sure, is happy, but there wasn't really that much to that pass interference penalty.
Fielded at the 7-yard line. Tony Simmons brings it up to the 23-yard line. Timeout to check in with JB in Los Angeles.
Doug Rhodes continuing for Chicago on the offensive end. Take a look. Marcus pressuring Jim Miller. Throws a wet ball that was fluttering. Donnie Abraham picks off a franchise record 30th pick. And now Tampa Bay is inside the 10. Chicago nursing only a 3-point lead. Doug and Dave.
JB, thank you. The Bucs getting a break with that weather in Chicago. Pretty mild, not that cold, a little rainy. Same kind of weather we're experiencing here in Indianapolis. Outside, that is. Peyton Manning directing traffic. There's the pump fake. And wide open again, Marcus Pollard.
Well, Peyton Manning, we talked to him on Friday. We talked about that the Falcons were susceptible to a pump and go. Well, that time, the pump and go happened up on top with Marvin Harrison. Reggie Wayne was down below here and just ran a hitch route. And then Marcus Pollard just ran down the left sideline and just ran a seam route. So that's his secondary receiver. Peyton Manning has enough time, looks back and finds for a big gain.
36-yard pickup, 1st and 10. Ball's on the 41 of the Falcons. Dominic Rhodes. Tripped up around the ankles by Mark Semino. 4-yard pickup. Hey, remember Fox Tuesday, the day gets shorter and the stakes get higher. The most exciting show of the year kicks it up another notch. It's an all-new 24 Tuesday at 9 p.m. 8 Central right here on Fox. Second down and 6. Manning again to Marvin Harrison. He's trying to battle his way for the first down. He'll be just short. Ray Buchanan wrestled him down. 5-yard pickup.
Well, this goes right along with Tom Moore's philosophy. He says a hitch is just as good as a running play. You got Marvin Harrison up top here. He's just going to go down and run a hitch. And then Ray Buchanan's off of him. So what Tom Moore says, hey, if you're going to play off, I'll take the 6-7 hitch. It's just as good as trying to get a running play for 6 or 7 yards. So they put themselves in 3rd and short.
There's Tom right there. 3rd down and 1. Rhodes again to the left side. He's working his way back to the right side. Gets a great block that frees him up for the first down. Adam Meadows delivered a serious block, flag down on the play. Looks like they might have grabbed his face mask. John Blackman's defense back on their heels.
15-yard face mask. number 22, Atlanta. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Flagrant face mask by Gerald McBurrows.
Well, that's a good, just a great example of a guy, Adam Meadows, keeping his head alive, being smart, and knows that the play is designed to go to the left. He stays alert and makes a great crackback block, enabling Dominic Rhodes to get downfield. And then on top of it, they get a flagrant face mask penalty.
First and 10 for the Colts. They have not been stopped. Opening drive was 3 and out. Since then, they've done as they please. Dilger leaps into the end zone. He'll come up just short. No, it's a touchdown. Ken Dilger got in there. 12 yards.
You know, we haven't heard or seen much of Ken Dilger lately because of the emergence, like we said, of Marcus Pollard. But Peyton Manning drops back and finds Ken Dilger. I guess he hasn't been in the end zone for a while, so he just jumps over the top of Semino and Ashley Ambrose, and he catches the pylon, crossed the plane of the end zone, and gave him a touchdown.
One more look. It was close. He hit the pylon. Vanderjagt kicks the extra point. That's his first touchdown since October 29th of 2000. He's been in a drought. But the Colts are pouring it on the Falcons, 21-7. Ken Dilger snuck into the corner of the end zone to make it 21-7. Vanderjagt kicks off now for the Colts. He has that injured back, so he cannot really get into it. Thus the short kickoffs. Derek Vaughn fields at the 8-yard line. Up to the 27, and Dave, let's check it out now. It was close.
It was very close. It was a reviewable play, and I guess what the officials are looking at here is that Ken Dilger, once he goes up, he crosses the plane. Even though he crossed it out of bounds, it's still a touchdown. I guess you could say that the plane goes all the way around the earth, the plane of the goal line, and that's what he did. Looks definitely like he's out of bounds here, but as long as that ball crosses any plane, any part of the plane of the end zone, it's a touchdown. And the plane does extend out of bounds, so it wasn't reviewed by the Falcons, so it's a touchdown, and I guess that makes up for the pass interference call that the Falcons got earlier.
Ken Dilger was such an offensive weapon early last season, then Pollard got more mature, worked his way to the offense, and lately Dilger has just been a blocker.
Well, I got a chance to talk to Ken last night at the hotel. He gave me a call, and he just said it just feels kind of weird that he's not involved in the offense as much.
Jim Finn down in the field as we check back in with James Brown in L.A.
Hey, Doug and Dave, take a look at what's happening here. Howie said,
well, the Lions might get that win, Dave.
If that's the case, what Howie's talking about between Bauman and McMahon, they're going to get a lot of looks at him. They're going to get some interceptions from those young quarterbacks.
Down in the field is Jim Finn. Second-year man from Penn.
Well, we talked about, Ken Dilger earlier. The weird part about it is he's glad for, the emergence, like we said, of Marcus Pollard. But when you used to watch TV last year, a lot of it was always Manning to Dilger or Manning to Harrison and Edgerrin James and things like that. Now you get a guy like Marcus Pollard, he has to be more of the blocking tight end. And that's something that Ken Dilger doesn't mind, and there he goes. So Marcus Pollard's done a good job today. Ken Dilger, the guy throwing the ball, is Peyton Manning, and next to him is Mark Rippon, a good friend of mine that's back here playing again.
First and 10 for the Falcons. We're under 5 minutes. Chandler straight back. Behind his man is tight end Reggie Kelly. Marcus Washington on the tackle for Indianapolis.
Well, speaking of Indianapolis, they were dogged out a little bit about their defense, but I'm seeing good coverage by Jeff Burris, David Macklin, linebackers, Marcus Washington are our people. So they've tightened things up. They've solidified things with their defense, and it's showing today.
Chad Bratsky told us that he thought this would be a good game for the Colts defensively. Teams hanging together despite that 5-game losing streak. Very upbeat at practice. Here's the blitz. Chandler to Bob Christian off his fingertips, incomplete pass. Third down and 6.
And we did talk to him. Chad Brasky said, you know, we're going to put some pressure on Chandler. We're going to bring some linebackers. That's what they did right there. Marcus Washington came across, put some pressure on him, trying to get the ball out of Chris Chandler's hands quickly. You can see Marcus Washington coming across. There's Sword coming up there. All the linebackers are coming that time. And they're trying to get the ball out of Chris Chandler's hand. If he gets a lot of time, he can hurt you. They don't want him to have that much time.
The crowd has turned up the volume. Third down and 6. Mathis in motion. Chandler has time. First down Falcons. Again, that's Tony Martin. 14-yard pickup.
Enough. Now that time Chris Chandler did have enough time. He sits back there and he looks to his left a little bit. That's the primary side that he's looking for. It enables him to get enough time to go back to Tony Martin. Chad Cota could have gotten up there and reacted a little bit quicker. They were double covering Tony Martin that time. He didn't react quick enough, and Chris Chandler was able to get the ball to Tony Martin for a first down.
First and 10. The ball's on the 45. There's Mathis picking up blockers. First down. Well executed play. Marcus Washington on the stop after 14 yards.
That goes back to the philosophy that Tom Moore uses for the Colts. They're going to play off. I'm going to get the ball into the guy, the playmaker for me, Terrence Mathis. He's off. Chris Chandler just takes a step back, throws it to him, and gets a 10, 15-yard gain. Just keep football simple. That's what Tom Moore's philosophy is. And Terrence Mathis, he's been around a long time. He knows what to do when he gets the football.
That's his first catch of the day. Under 3 minutes now. The Falcons have a drive going. Over the pump fake over the middle. Again, that's Reggie Kelly, his second grab of the drive, a 5-yard pickup.
You know, we talked about the young, inexperienced offensive line of the Colts, but they did a good job there with a 3-step drop with Whitfield, McClure, and Forney and Roberto Garza. They did a good job with a 3-step drop like that. Travis Claridge, and to enable Chris Chandler to have that much time on a 3-step drop, you got to give him a lot of credit.
Second and 5. Bob Christian lines up behind Chandler, who gets pressured, throws it away. That bounced. Chukwuemeka Wakori was hoping for his first interception of the year, but it did hit the turf. It'll bring up third down.
Well, that was dangerous what Chris Chandler did. He averted the sack, so that puts him back at 3rd and 5. But the fans are cheering. They're hoping that they would have given him intentional grounding. But he was throwing it somewhat in the vicinity of somebody. We're not sure who, but he almost threw an interception. Great pressure here by the Colts defense. There's Chris Chandler. We talked about earlier the pressure that he was facing. Don't give him much time to make a decision back there. He'll hurt you. So the pressure from the Colts has just been outstanding so far today.
Third down and 5. Very big for the Falcons. Here comes pressure. Bob Christian. Very close to the first down.
We'll take it to the 2-minute warning.
We'll be back. The 2-minute warning. Colts on top 21-7. And remember, Saturday, kick off your NFL weekend a day early with a Fox NFL special. Donovan McNabb and the...
Well, it was nice last night talking to Terrence Mathis. He's been around a while. 651 catches, kind of surprises and sneaks up on everybody. He doesn't get that much notoriety. You know, you talk about the Marvin Harrises, the Terrell Owens, and the Randy Mosses. But Terrence Mathis has been around for a long time. And it was fun talking to him last night. He really appreciates the opportunity to be playing. He knows that at any time it could be over with. And, you know, he's been to the Super Bowl. And, you know, he just really appreciates the opportunity to still be in the playoff hunt. And he's trying to get that attitude to the younger players on his team as well. The importance of going out and practicing and playing hard. And as we can see, it's certainly paid off for Terrence Mathis.
Chris Chandler has completed 6 of his last 8 passes after that 0-for-4 start. First and 10 from the 31. The pitch back to Maurice Smith. Looking for a block. Surging forward down to the 23-yard line. Sam Sword on the stop for the Colts. An 8-yard pickup for Maurice Smith. This is the best he's played in 3 weeks.
Well, he did a good job there. And Keenan Forney and Travis Claridge were leading the march around the sweep for him right there. There's Keenan Forney, and Travis Claridge does a good job blocking. And then Maurice Smith, he'll get the 3 or 4 yards after contact. Well-designed play, well executed by the Falcons players.
5 carries, 27 yards for Maurice Smith. Tony Martin wide right. Mathis on the left side. They pick up the blitz. Chandler throws to his tight end Reggie Kelly. And another first down. The stop, Ryan Phillips for the Colts. There you see the time remaining before halftime. This is so important for Atlanta this drive.
30-second timeout.
Well, this is a big drive for the Falcons. And Chris Chandler's doing a good job getting a lot of time given to him by the Falcons offensive line.
Timeout for the Falcons. Dan Reeves and Chandler will talk it over. We'll return right after this. Chris Chandler has gotten a hot hand. Maurice Smith running well, lines up behind him. Chandler into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Ryan Finneran, who was huge a week ago against the Saints, his best game, comes up with a terrific grab.
He's a big target for Chris Chandler. He's like an Ed McCafferty type guy. And last week he was very important. I think Chris Chandler started to feel comfortable with him, and this time he threw a corner route to him, put it up in the air, and Finneran went up, made a big play for him, and gets the Falcons right back in this football game.
Jay Feely on for the extra point. Howie Long jumping for joy, I'm sure. Finneran from his alma mater, Villanova. And the Falcons have worked their way back into this. 21-14. Neither defensive unit doing anything to stop the other offense.
Well, we talked about the offensive line to open the show. The offensive line gave Chris Chandler a great amount of time right there. Finneran goes up, makes a great play for the Falcons.
Dan Reeves and company back in business. Thumbs up.
The young offensive line here, and every one of the offensive linemen for the Falcons has a man from the Colts right here. Gives Chris Chandler the amount of time that we talked about. You give Chris Chandler time, those are the results you can expect.
Finneran, by the way, an NFL Europe product. I remember watching him with the Barcelona Dragons. That's Kevin McDougal fielding it at the 10 on the run and hammering his way up to the 29-yard line. 1:01 on the clock, which is plenty of time for Peyton Manning and company. There's Finneran. Hey, coming up in the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league, and our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
Well, Peyton Manning, the way the Colts have been playing so far this first half, with 1 minute and 1 second to go and 3 timeouts left, they should be able to get down at least into field goal range.
Peyton has that bottom bar on his face mask. Ever since he cracked his jaw against the Dolphins, he's worn that. Says he's okay. And the handoff to Dominic Rhodes, which draws some boos from the crowd. Travis Hall on the stop for Atlanta. And a timeout for the Colts.
Timeout, Atlanta. Their second charge.
Check that, it's a timeout for the Falcons. 51 seconds to play before halftime. We'll return right after this. Manning working from the shotgun. After that running play that lost 2, it's 2nd and 12. Again, wide open, Reggie Wayne. A short gain. 7-yard pickup. Derek Vaughn on the stop for the Falcons.
Timeout, Indianapolis.
And now the Colts call timeout.
Timeout. It's a 30-second timeout.
A lot of times you take timeout, you see something maybe from the booth up here, go back to Tom Moore and say, look it, we know what we had here, we got the underneath stuff, but maybe they're trying to get something bigger downfield. That's 2 timeouts in a row from both teams.
We had fun talking with Peyton Manning, and Peyton was really asking you for a little advice, because this is the first time in his career, despite his rookie season when they struggled, that after 2 highly successful years, this 5-game losing streak really has him kind of questioning himself.
Well, I don't know so much if he questions himself, but he knows that he's putting a little bit of pressure, more pressure on himself than maybe he should. And I think what he's learning from this season so far, or in these last 5-6 games, is to be more patient with the ball, not trying to take the whole weight of the game on his own shoulders. And so far in this half, with the good running game, he's been able to do that.
He's completed 6 straight. 2 of those completions were for touchdowns. breaks free, gets past the 50, and he's tripped up, and here comes a flag. They might have grabbed his face mask. A 20-yard pickup for Reggie Wayne.
Well, that's one of the things they might have talked about upstairs.
Personal foul, 15-yard face mask, number 34, Atlanta, 15 yards, first down.
Ray Buchanan, the flagrant face mask, the 15 yards variety.
Saves a timeout for the Colts. They can get up and huddle up now and get a play. But like I was talking earlier, maybe they saw something upstairs with this man coverage, get that little college-type screen pass to Reggie Wayne, who just got out of college, and he knows what to do with it.
It's 1st and 10 from the 31. That's 2 face mask penalties against the Falcons. The last drive, you might remember, they had a 15-yarder. Manning with plenty of time. Trevor Inslee, another NFL Europe product. Brought down by Ashley Ambrose, a 12-yard pickup.
Indianapolis. Timeout.
Inslee also played for Barcelona. Jack Bicknell, NFL Europe. We were over there. He had a terrific season. A guy who's earned a roster spot.
He did a good job at Nevada Reno. I mean, NCAA records and catches, yards. And I got a chance to go over there when I went over to NFL Europe and watch Trevor Inslee and Tony Simmons, who's also with the Colts, and some other players we talked about. It's been a great experience for them to go over there and then to come over here and get a chance to make it in the NFL. It just goes to show what type of lengths you'll go to make it in the NFL. And I asked him earlier, right before we started, I said, how's your legs feeling? He says, they're a little bit tired this time of year. He can't wait to get a little break and rest them. But a good kid. I like to see a kid like that get a chance, and he's making the most of that opportunity, get a chance to start and play in a lot of nickel situations today.
25 seconds to play before halftime. 1st and 10 from the 19. A pump fake. Peyton Manning. Touchdown, Indianapolis. That's our NFL Europe connection. Trevor Inslee. 19-yard touchdown.
Fantastic throw and an even greater catch. I mean, he just hung out for that ball. He stretched out, maybe knocked the wind out of himself, but Trevor Inslee is that type of player. He'll do whatever it takes to get the job done. Great throw by Peyton and an even greater catch by Trevor Inslee. He just dove out and gave up his body for the catch.
His first career NFL touchdown catch. Peyton Manning told us that he loves this guy because in practice he does that.
He does it even when they don't have pads on in practice. Good for Trevor Inslee.
28-14. Dave, you could probably relate to this young man. I mean, your college doesn't even exist anymore. Tiny Milton College in Wisconsin.
When you see a kid coming in that isn't really a big draft choice or anything like that, that had to go to Europe to get the chance to play in the NFL, to go and practice and play with Peyton Manning, who talks about him diving for catches, even in practice, without wearing shoulder pads and everything. That says a lot about the character of this kid and how tough he is. And first career touchdown in a big game like this that they're trying to turn their season around a little bit. Good for Trevor Inslee. It says a lot about his character. It just shows you that you stick in there, good things can happen.
You know what's fun, Dave? We spoke with Trevor Inslee when he played for Barcelona. We had a chance to interview him over there in Spain, and it's so much fun because he says, I don't know what the NFL teams are thinking. I hope to get a shot. I hope to get a tryout here. They're just hustling, and
well, he got his shot. I talked to him right before I came up here. I was down on the field talking. I said, well, do something good so I can talk about you. And he certainly did it right there with that catch. It was a tremendous catch, and good for Trevor Inslee. Again, he's got a lot to smile about. He can lose some wind over that catch.
Yeah, that smile tells the whole story. And again, the Falcons unable to stop this Colts offense. That's Derek Vaughn. Again, plenty of room to run. And a flag comes flying in. He's brought down right at the 30-yard line, a 25-yard return. 11 seconds on the clock. Ron Blum.
Those are some long drives.
With the call now. Veteran official.
Holding during the return, number 20, Atlanta. 10 yards, first down.
Officials like Ron Blum almost as recognizable as the players. He gets so much face time over the years.
He certainly does, and with all the reviewable challenge plays, instant replays, you get even more of it.
That timeout by Atlanta on the last drive was really costly as you look at the last 5 drives. Despite that punt, they've been pretty hot.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, that's a lot of yards, long drives, 96 yards, 84, 77, 71. That's a lot of yards in one half, let alone a whole game even.
Maurice Smith on the draw, run out the clock.
Get up.
14-yard pickup for Smith, which will help his stats, but the Falcons will go to the locker room trailing by 14. That's the end of the first half. Fox NFL Sunday will continue. JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris coming along after this with a Visa halftime report. I think Howie Long described it as multiple personalities, Dave. We haven't seen this in the Colts for some time, especially over the last 5 weeks, but boy, are they world beaters right now.
Well, they are world beaters too, and I think what Howie was talking about as well was, where's the Atlanta defense?
Yeah.
I mean, they're just going up. The Colts are going up and down the field, like I said, like a preseason type game. And the Falcons, I wouldn't want to be in the locker room with Dan Reeves at a particular halftime talk, because seeing this, like here, Dominic Rhodes coming through here like that, and the play action pass from Peyton Manning to Marcus Pollard, it says a lot about the offensive line of the Colts. And then here, there's a few highlights. Bob Christian going a long way just to get a 3 or 4 yard touchdown run. But then here we go. Come right back to Kent Dilger. Does a great job getting up and over the plane of the end zone. And then Chris Chandler gets a chance to throw it to Brian Finner in the end zone. And then we come right back. Right before halftime, Trevor Inslee makes a great diving catch to put it at 28-14.
Well, the Falcons are down by 2 touchdowns. Somehow they have to figure out how to slow down this Colts offense. That timeout they called on the last scoring drive, that didn't help either.
Well, that's kind of controversial why they would do that. It allowed the Colts to have a little bit more time to get some more momentum at halftime if they needed some more already. They've had a whole bunch.
Well, let's go down to Eric Ritchie, who's standing by with Dan Reeves. Eric?
Coach, down 2 touchdowns heading into the second half. What's the key to get back into this one?
Well, we got to start playing better defense. We got to stop them. We get the ball first here. We can take it down and score. We're right back in it. So we just got to play a lot better.
Good luck to you.
Okay, thanks.
Doug, Dave, back to you.
Okay, short and sweet. That pretty much says the story. Somehow defensively they need to slow down the Colts, but as Coach Reeves mentioned, they do get the ball back, and the Colts defense hasn't stopped the Falcons on their last 2 drives. Mike Vanderjagt will kick off again with those back spasms. He's not really pushing off and giving it full extension in the kickoff, so they're coming up a little short. Again, fielded at the 7-yard line, Derek Vaughn. Colts are doing a better job at covering the kicks. He's down at the 25, and the ball busted free, but the Falcons got it right back. And look at the halftime statistics. Lots of offense for the Colts.
Fumble was recovered by the receiver.
Well, you look at 320 yards. That's a key that stands out right away. Another key is the rushing yards for the Colts. They haven't had much of that this year. And time of possession. When they've had the time of possession, they've made them. And 21 first downs. That's a lot for one half. That's a good job just for one game. And they still got a second half to go.
Peyton Manning red hot. Now with 23 touchdown passes on the season. Chandler to Maurice Smith.
I'm sure that Dan Reeves had a lot to say to not only the defense as well, but to the offense. I mean, they had opportunities in the first quarter, and they could not convert on 3rd down. And the defense, I mean, the long drives that we talked about earlier in the first half, he has to be able to have his defense somehow contain the Colts offense, because this is not a team that looks like they're trying to head to a 7-6 record to stay in the playoff hunt.
2nd and 6 after that 4-yard pickup. There's the defense. Coordinator Don Blackman was standing in front of him. Christian in motion. Chandler gets sacked by Ryan Phillips. His first sack of the season. A lot of firsts for the Colts today. Trevor Inslee's first touchdown, Phillips' first sack.
Well, it explains a lot of things, too, sometimes. When your offensive line is not doing the job. We talked about it earlier. The Colts wanted to come out and put pressure on Chris Chandler. They saw last week that there was success by the Saints. They're going to try it again this time. Ryan Phillips comes right up the middle. Nobody picks him up. We talked about the youth, the inexperience in that middle of that offensive line, and the Colts just took advantage of it.
3rd down and 13. Chandler straight back, has time. Tony Martin over the middle will come up well short of the 1st down. 8-yard pickup, and they needed 13.
Well, the Colts will give them that. I mean, they're at Sean Jefferson running downfield, Terrence Mathis. If they want to throw underneath to Tony Martin and still be about 7-8 yards shy of the 1st down, the Colts are fine with that. And again, Dan Reeves can't be too happy about that. The sack, not converting on 3rd down, forced a punt to this explosive Colts offense with Trevor Inslee standing back there again.
Inslee was the leading punt returner in NFL Europe. Last season, Chris Moore will boot it away. It's the fake. Moore to Bob Christian. 1st down and more. Christian rumbling into Colts territory. Breaks a tackle. And he's wrestled down at the 27. That's a 42-yard pickup.
Chris Moore is running off the field very happy. Well-designed play. The Colts weren't expecting it, obviously. They were going down there trying to stop the Gunners from the Falcons. And all Chris Moore did was roll out a little bit. And then he threw the ball to Christian. Christian's right here. Chris Moore's right here. They snap the ball. These two just run off the field. Chris Moore dumps it to Christian. We'll see down here a little bit. The Colts players still just now starting to become aware of what's going on. Great call. It's exactly what the Falcons need. Now the offense has to take over and make something of it.
1st and 10 from the 27. Falcons back in business. Chandler with time. Into the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Tony Martin.
They tried a little out and up with Tony Martin that time, but David Macklin did a good job with his technique. He didn't bite on anything. He stayed with it fine, and there was no pass interference call on that play. So Falcons are taking their shots every once in a while here, but Tony Martin didn't get very much separation. Maybe Chris Chandler could have thrown the ball a little bit quicker, but there really wasn't that much there. Give a lot of credit to David Macklin that time. And Tony, I think, looks like he wanted the ball thrown quicker and further down the field.
Chandler to Martin, they were a heck of a combination during the Super Bowl run for the Falcons 3 years ago. Chandler to Maurice Smith out of the backfield, who gets wrestled down up around the neck by Marcus Washington.
That was a big catch right there by Maurice Smith. The ball was thrown down low by his knees, and for a running back, that's hard to do. But what that enables the Falcons to do right now is be in a 3rd and maybe 2 or 3 situation. Had he dropped that ball, they'd be in 3rd and 10. So that's a big catch right there. If they're able to do something with this drive, we can look back to that Maurice Smith catch and give him a lot of credit.
3rd down and 3. And a timeout by the Colts.
37, Indianapolis.
We will come back.
Timeout.
A big play for the Falcons.
Indianapolis, their 1st charge, team timeout.
The Colts on top of the Falcons by 2 touchdowns. Doug Bell along with Dave Craig. A fake punt that went for 42 yards. Got the Falcons out of a huge hole. They did not want the Colts to go back on offense. It's now 3rd down and 3 for Chris Chandler. Bob Christian lines up behind him. Christian takes the handoff. Dives forward. Very close. They're going to measure.
Interesting call. You give it to Bob Christian and have him dive over for 3rd and 2 or 3 yards. So apparently it looks like Dan Reed's going to have a decision if they don't get it. You know, you kick the field goal, make it 28-17, or do you know, go for it on 4th down? But we'll see what happens here.
It appeared that Christian might have gotten enough, but the spot was not in favor of the Falcons. You can see Ron Blum saying just a few inches short.
They're going for it, which makes sense. I mean, I wondered why they would run it there, but Dan Reeves must have knew that they were going to go for it on 2 downs. Their playoff is at stake right here. They know that the offense of the Colts is hard to be stopped, so they're going to try to do whatever they can, you know, to get 7 points on the board.
Cannot trade field goals for touchdowns. You're right.
Big play for the Falcons. Big play for their season right here.
The Indianapolis crowd on their feet. This is the loudest it's been all afternoon. 4th and inches. Chandler. Maurice Smith gets stopped. He only had to get a few inches. No signal yet. Ron Blum wants to measure.
I wouldn't run off the field if I was the Colts offense. That, doesn't make it look too good. You want to stay out there and see what you can. There's nothing you can do now once the ball is spotted. There's no doubt about that. But Dan Reeves is down there looking at it too. He understands the magnitude of this spot right here and of this play.
The Christian play before this one was not a good spot for the Falcons. This might be. Let's see. No, this was not a good spot. The Colts defense stops them in their tracks. Chad Cota and company stack up Maurice Smith. Colts take over on downs.
He had a nose. A big play by the Colts right here on defense, and we'll see that when we come back to it after this play here. But it was great demoralizer for the Falcons, but good for the Colts defense.
Peyton Manning, again play action fake, looking deep for Marvin Harrison, out of bounds.
And if we can go back to this, we're going to watch that 4th down play again. You watch Cota comes up in here. He's got the nose we talked about broken, but right here he shows he has a nose for the football. He sticks his nose right in there, and there you see Chad Cota with his nose in there, stopping the Falcons from 4th and 1, maybe ending their playoff dreams for this year. Great thing for the Indianapolis Colts. Very demoralizing, like I said, for the Atlanta Falcons right there on 4th and inches.
And he will be on a local TV show tonight on the local Fox affiliate here in Indianapolis, despite that bandage on his nose.
I think and I hope he takes that off when he gets on the air.
It's a little smaller, that's right, when he's not playing football. Manning looking to the outside and overshoots Reggie Wayne.
Now what the Colts are doing here, they executed their offense fine in the first half.
As we look at the playoff picture, Dave.
Well, you look at the Falcons, they're at 6-6 right now. And then they got the other teams, like we said earlier, playing still against each other. So, this is a big series right now. If they can stop the Colts to get back on the field, maybe they can make it 28-21.
A big 3rd down possibility here for the Falcons defense. They need a stop in the worst way. Manning with a long count. And again with lots of time over the middle. Incomplete, so the Falcons get their stop. The first 3 and out since the very first possession of the game. You see Peyton Manning not happy about that, but that's big for the Falcons.
Falcons, they came out and they threw one. They started off the drive with a long pass that was incomplete. Throw another pass. He tried to throw a fade stop. That's incomplete. Tried to throw another one down the middle. Incomplete. Didn't go to the running game. The Falcons have a chance now to get the ball back.
Hunter Smith will punt for the Colts. Darian Gordon at the 39. Backtracking to the 32. And Gordon looking for a hole. He's going backwards. Blue jerseys are all over him. And he gets brought down at the 30-yard line.
That'll make it harder. That'll make it harder for him to catch Billy White Shoes Johnson.
That's a 50-yard punt. -2 on the stop. Now the offense has to answer. They were stopped on a 4th and inches a moment ago, and Dave, Chris Chandler and company need to come up big now in this drive.
There's the faces of the guys we haven't seen very much of today. The guys that have to make plays for him. Chris Chandler being the first one that has to start doing something for the Atlanta Falcons.
Chandler straight back, has plenty of time. Misses Bob Christian.
Like you said, he did miss. There's a reason he did miss. The Colts defense has been out there. Sam Sword filling in for Rob Morris, coming in, making some plays. We got other guys coming. The linebackers coming in. Chad Cota stopping on 4th and inches. This is something you haven't seen out of the Colts defense in the last 5, 6, 7 weeks. Very much maligned. A lot talked about their defense not doing the job. They're stepping up big today.
Marcus Washington, Mike Wells, They have played well, that Colts defense. 2nd and 10. Chandler dumps it off to Christian. Gains 5.
This is where the Falcons have gotten themselves in trouble. They get the ball to be 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 or less, but their conversion rate has been very poor today. They're one of the lower ranked teams in the NFL to begin with, but when they need it they need it right now. So they got to find a way to get the ball into their playmakers' hands, into Terrence Mathis's hands, Tony Martin. You got to see these guys come up big for him. Kozlowski's in the game. Anybody can make it, but somebody for this season has to come up big for the Falcons.
Somebody has to make a play. Chris Chandler on 3rd and 5. And he was pressured, had to throw it away. Tremendous pressure on Chandler from the outside.
Well, that's what we talked about. That's what we talked about at the beginning. Pressure, to get pressure on Chris Chandler. And the Colts have talked about it earlier in the week. They told us this. They're bringing safeties. They're bringing linebackers. Making Chris Chandler get rid of the ball quickly, therefore making the Falcons' offense ineffective.
Trevor Inslee back at his 15-yard line. Chris Moore, the last time he lined up to punt, he tossed it to Bob Christian. This time, no fake. The kick. Inslee fields it just short of the 20. Dodges the first tackler and gets up to the 27. 46-yard punt, 7-yard return. Colts on offense when we come back.
Let's look at what makes the dome structure of great importance. You see,
well, the Falcons are down by 14. You see that score? The Bears lead the Bucks 20-3. That means the Bucks likely to fall to 7-6. The Falcons, with a victory, could be 7-6, but right now it's not looking like that's going to happen. 1st and 10. Dominic Rhodes, first carry of the second half. Picks up 3. It's 2nd and 7. Let's check in with JB in Los Angeles.
Hey, Doug and Dave, look how Chicago capped the 9-play, 69-yard drive. Jim Miller has Fred Baxter in motion, play action, pumps. Probably Dave should never have thrown as he double covered, but boy, does he haul it in. An 18-yard strike, and Chicago on top, 20-3. Back to Doug Bell and Dave Craig.
JB, you're very astute.
There you see the wild card leaders. Peyton Manning over the middle. Overshoots Reggie Wayne. Flag down on the play. Kansas City leading Denver in another important game in the AFC. And that'll go against the Colts.
The Colts are disappointed. They thought there was pass interference against Reggie Wayne, which would have negated there would have been offsetting penalties.
Illegal formation. Number 71 of Indianapolis was on the end of the line, uncovered. Penalties declined. 3rd down.
Well, those are the type of little mistakes that have haunted the Colts. They're not a very much penalized team. The problem they've had have been just more turnovers and everything like that. But they were looking for a pass interference on that play, which would have been offsetting penalties. Now they're in 3rd and 8, I guess it is, 3rd and 7.
3rd down and 7. Peyton Manning from the shotgun, directing traffic. Again, lots of time. Wide open. Dominic Rhodes, flag down.
Ken Dilger did a good job avoiding the flag. The referee threw the flag and almost hit Ken Dilger.
And again, it goes against Indianapolis.
Might have been a pick play.
Pass interference, number 83, Indianapolis. Penalties declined. 4th down.
Trevor Inslee might have picked and enabled Dominic Rhodes to be so wide open. He ran a little out and up. And the reason he was wide open was maybe Trevor Inslee shielded a defender from getting on Dominic Rhodes. Peyton Manning does a good job looking off. We see he doesn't get enough on the football. And Dominic Rhodes wide open, but because of Trevor Inslee setting a pick.
So the Falcons have made some adjustments defensively. The Colts 3 and out on their 2 opening drives in the 3rd quarter. Hunter Smith angling the kick towards the sidelines, but Darian Gordon fields it at the 14. This time he goes straight forward. Breaks the tackle and has some room. Darian Gordon. Hunter Smith, the punter, knocks him out of bounds. at the 17-yard line.
I'll tell you, the key to that right there was the Atlanta Falcons' ability to hold up the Colts getting downfield on Darian Gordon. When he caught that punt, he had plenty of room around him to run, and now with that punt return, I think he breaks Billy Whiteshoe's Falcons record.
That's a 67-yard return. Darian Gordon has never made the Pro Bowl. He might as a return man.
Well, the special teams have come up big for the Falcons. They have the fake punt, and now this punt return. The onus is on their offense. It's still middle of the third quarter. There's plenty of time left. But they have to start doing something with all these opportunities they've been given.
Mathis in motion. Here comes the blitz. Oh, Chris Chandler goes down hard. Josh Williams buries him in the turf.
You think with play action protection, you would maximize your protection, but that time Josh Williams just ran right over and right by Travis Claridge, who was moved from right guard to right tackle. We'll see right here, he just runs right by him on the play action. He's going to run right by him. I mean, he didn't get enough chance to get out there and get on his man, and that's the pressure we talked about earlier. The Colts are able to do it. The Falcons aren't able to stop it.
An 11-yard loss, 2nd and 21. Kozlowski now in motion. Chandler rolling out to avoid the pressure. Finds Finneran, who did not get his feet down.
They might, I'm not going to speculate, but I would challenge this play. He would have had his feet down had he not got pushed out. We'll see what the Falcons people do up in the review box, even if that is a review of the play. I think it would be.
Chandler to Finneran.
See here, Finneran would have got, I would think that he would have gotten his feet down in bounds had he not got hit. Looks like he got at least one of them, maybe two down anyway.
Third down and 21. And again, the crowd doing their part. Chandler with time, dumps it off. Maurice Smith. Gets down to the 17. Jeff Burris on the tackle for Indianapolis. 13-yard pickup. And Jay Feely will come on for the field goal. Like the Falcons, he's much better on the road. He's perfect away from the Georgia Dome.
Much like Chris Chandler, he's much better away from playing in Atlanta. He's better off on the road. Jay Feely the same way.
A 35-yard attempt. Feely has struggled his last 2 weeks, the rookie from Michigan. That one was right down the middle, and the Falcons cut the lead to 11. 7:06 to play third quarter. Lots of time. Falcons are hanging in there. Darian Gordon's 67-yard punt return helped Atlanta get that field goal, and with that return, he went by Billy White Shoes Johnson on the Falcons' all-time return yardage list. And White Shoes works with the Falcons on their radio team, and we'll get a shot of him. Jay Feely kicks off. Kevin McDougal fields it at the 7. McDougal with a nice return, and he's chopped down at the 31. There's White Shoes, and you know, he wears white shoes. You can't see him, but his dress shoes are white.
When we came in earlier today, we talked to Billy and asked about the record. He's real proud of holding the record, and he's happy that Darian Gordon gets the opportunity. At least that's what he says. I'm sure he'd still like to hold the record, but he looks in good shape. Like he could go out and maybe return the punt just to get the record back. He looks like he could still do that. But that's quite an honor for Darian Gordon to move up as far as he did and actually tie Eric Metcalf right now.
Gordon is a character. Very unique with that Bob Marley hairstyle, and White Shoes was unique with that celebration in the end zone when he ran one back. Dominic Rhodes over the right side, again getting chopped down, and let's check back in with James Brown at the Fox Network Center in LA.
Hey, Doug and Dave, take a look at how Minnesota is eking back into it. And how do you think they did? Well, they went to the guy who wants to play today. A takeoff route by Randy Moss, 66 yards from Todd Bauman. And now Minnesota trailing by only 3 in the third to Detroit. Back to Doug Bell and Dave Craig.
Todd Bauman, another one of those NFL Europe guys.
I'm sure that's one thing Randy Moss wished he'd never said. I'm sure there's some things today I've said, but that's one thing that Randy Moss wished he'd never talked about.
Peyton Manning, Marcus Pollard. Around the ankles, Ronnie Bradford brings him down. 6-yard pickup.
That was a big tackle by Ronnie Bradford. Had Marcus Pollard got away from that tackle, they blitzed that particular down, and Peyton Manning had to throw a sight adjustment out to Marcus Pollard, who recognized that even though he's a basketball player for 4 years, he recognized that there was a sight adjustment, so he had to break his route off and turn, look quickly back to Peyton Manning, who was on the same page and got it out to him. That puts a lot of pressure on Ronnie Bradford. He doesn't make that tackle, there's nobody else down the sideline.
It's 3rd down and 4. Dominic Rhodes, another first down for the Colts.
Peyton Manning's running this offense very effectively, and the reason that's happening is just because of the simple fact that they started out the game able to run the football. And now they're throwing some short little passes. They're in a lot less than 3rd and 8. They're in 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. So it allows Peyton Manning to be more patient with the football, things he hasn't done in the past 3, 4, 5 weeks. Dump the ball off, and the running game is so huge. It definitely helps, as evidenced by today's running by Dominic Rhodes and the blocking of the Colts offensive line.
That's the first down of this half for the Colts. Peyton with 3 touchdown passes, no interception. Dominic Rhodes, gaping hole, right up the gut, breaks it to the outside, and he's brought down at the 25, a 31-yard pickup by Dominic Rhodes.
Not only does it help Peyton Manning, but it helps the confidence of the offensive line and the confidence of Dominic Rhodes. Here you can see he just gives the ball to Dominic Rhodes, a big hole right there. I mean, he is not touched again. He gets down, gives some little juke moves, get about 10, 12 more yards out of it. A lot of that credit has to go to the offensive line of the Colts. They're all getting their man, getting a hat on a man, and making big gaping holes for Dominic Rhodes.
Career high 124 yards on the ground for Dominic Rhodes out of Midwest Texas State. Rhodes this time over the left side. You know, we talked to Peyton Manning. We said he really likes Dominic Rhodes in training camp. I mean, here's a rookie, didn't know whether he was going to make the team, studying the playbook, working extra in practice. Heck, Adrian James was the guy. But when James went down, Rhodes was ready.
Well, what that did for Peyton Manning was know that this guy studies. He didn't have to worry about the confidence or the trust factor. Will this guy know where his pickups are in the protections? So Peyton Manning was very impressed by that. He got the opportunities to do it, studied well, and now he gets to show it today.
It's 2nd down and 9. Again, Peyton Manning has not been hassled at all today. Uh-oh, his first interception. Number 21 on the season, Ashley Ambrose, runs out of bounds, and the Falcons again are somehow surviving.
Well, it'll be interesting to get a chance to see this. It was man coverage. I think Peyton thought whoever he was throwing it to was going to continue across, and he just stopped it. There was 2 or 3 guys standing there, and Peyton was anticipating, so he tried to get rid of the ball and get it out in front of his receiver's hands, and we'll get a chance to see what might have happened there.
4th interception of the season for Ashley Ambrose.
There's Ashley Ambrose, and he's going to end up dropping back into the coverage. That's what happened right there. He just fell off his man and dropped back into coverage.
1st and 10 from the 43. Chandler to Terrence Mathis. Tries to use the stiff arm, but goes nowhere. Jeff Burris put a bear hug on him and took him out of bounds.
Well, Doug, you said it exactly right. I mean, the Falcons have another chance. The Colts did give them that chance, but they're still in this thing. We talked about how demoralized they might have been not making that 4th down, but now they're getting into it after that punt return by Darian Gordon. Maybe now they get some confidence in their offense.
2nd down and 5. Still lots of time. More than 3 minutes in the 3rd quarter. Maurice Smith hammers his way.
You know, a couple of things that the Falcons might be able to do if they're getting this much pressure from the Colts is throw a screen pass. That'll sometimes it does slow a rush down. They're coming so hard, bringing linebackers, but running back goes up and blocks on a linebacker, and he thinks he gets by him. You throw a screen pass. That's one thing that'll slow down a defensive rush, and not only that, enable you to get a big play.
Chad Bratsky, Josh Williams. That put lots of pressure on Chris Chandler. That extra defensive back in the game for the Colts. 3rd and 4. Here comes pressure. First down, Tony Martin. And the Falcons are in Colts territory. David Macklin on the tackle for the Colts.
When you bring pressure and you play man defense, eventually one of these times, yes, they're getting to Chris Chandler, but eventually they might get a pass thrown to Tony Martin or Terrence Mathis that they'll break free because of that man coverage. So look for a big play maybe to happen if they continue blitzing, dogging their linebackers.
1st and 10 from the 43. Chandler taking his time. Oh, here comes the blitz. The handoff. Just beat it, Maurice Smith. Works hard up to the 40-yard line. Idris Bashir on the tackle. They ran right by the blitz.
Sam Sword, the linebacker, is going to just rush right up the line there, and he's almost going to get Chris Chandler before he gets the ball off to Maurice Smith. There are opportunities for big plays here if the Falcons can take advantage of that. They were very fortunate to get that ball off there, but if they keep risking this, the Colts I'm talking about, they keep risking it, they're vulnerable to a big play.
Bob Christian got just enough of Sword there. He does so many things. Chandler. Incomplete pass looking for Terrence Mathis. Bring up 3rd down.
Well, that's one right there that I think Chris Chandler and Terrence Mathis, they both should have had that. I mean, the ball was thrown low a little bit. Chris Chandler, as accurate as he is, he knows that he could have got that pass to Terrence in more catchable position. Terrence himself maybe could have gone down and gotten that ball.
Tony Martin is wide to the right. Terrence Mathis at the top of your screen, wide left. Finneran in the slot. Christian and Smith line up beside Chandler. Chandler, Tony Martin, 1st down.
There's something you don't see very often. The Giants used to do this, but they brought a corner blitz. The guy covering Tony Martin way over here by the sideline decided to blitz. And most offenses don't see that. And Chris Chandler didn't quite recognize it as quick as Tony Martin did. He was able to get the ball out to Tony Martin. And again, because of the Colts' reckless abandon of blitzing them, they're getting some big plays out of this now, converting on 3rd down.
That was a 12-yard pickup. 1st and 10. 30 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Chandler has time now and has his tight end just off the fingertips of Reggie Kelly, who was open. Chad Cota on the coverage of big Reggie Kelly.
The other side of that is, as Chris Chandler, you're the quarterback and you're sitting back and you're getting dogged and blitzed and getting put on your back. You don't feel like you're going to have as much time sometimes when you do have time. And that was an indication there where Chris might have got get rid of the ball a little bit quicker, but he had more time than he thought. And what happens is you keep getting hit and you keep getting hit. You're thinking, man, they're going to come and get me and hit me this time, so they get rid of it quicker. So it does pay off a little bit for the Colts, but there was another opportunity for the Falcons right there.
It's 2nd down. Chandler this time finds his other tight end, Algie Crumpler, his first catch, and it's another 1st down. Idris Bashir on the stop for the Colts. Crumpler and Kelly are 2 big targets at tight end. And that's the last play of the 3rd quarter. The Colts 28, the Falcons 17. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station. On the Visa halftime show, Howie Long mentioned the multiple personalities of the Colts, and that was in evidence in the 3rd quarter. It went from that offensive explosion to 0 points and the turnover. Big play now for the Falcons. 1st and 10. Once again in the red zone of the Colts. Bob Christian with blockers in front of him. And Bob just does not have the speed to get around the corner. Idris Bashir comes up from his free safety spot to make the tackle on Christian.
Well, right here was a potential for a big play. Bob Whitfield, the veteran that he is, will see him right here. He's going to pull around to his left. If he looks back inside to the right right there. He gets that man. There's a corner around there for a touchdown. So Bob Winfield was looking down to his left. All he had to do was look back inside. That was a possible touchdown miss because of a missed block and not looking back inside.
2nd and 10. Chandler all by himself in the backfield from the shotgun. Here comes pressure. And Chris goes down again. Marcus Washington came untouched.
You know, we talked about the Falcons' offensive line. Travis Claridge is playing right tackle. Keenan Forney's playing right guard. Todd McClure is at center. Roberto Garza. They only have 2-3 years of experience except for Bob Whitfield, so they are missing some assignments on occasion. And for a veteran like Chris Chandler, that can't be very comforting to know back there. And that causes some problems right there. And that's why the Colts continue to put pressure on them. They know they can't pick it up all the time.
Marcus Washington has led this Colts defense, looking for another big play. They have 3 sacks on the day. Chris Chandler feels the pressure, goes into the end zone. Veteran was there, wants a flag, and will not get it.
Burris on
Jeff Burris. Jeff, the 8th-year man out of Notre Dame. All smiles after that play.
He thinks he might have got away with something. They called one earlier on David Mackman that was not even as bad as what Burris just did there.
Dan Reeves threw the headset. He wanted the flag.
Well, we see the throw here, and the ball's up in the air. And you can see he's got his hands, Burris has his hands all over and pushing him. Finneran does the falling down part and everything. The official just didn't make that call.
Jay Feely has hit from 35, his 2nd attempt from 33. And it's good. Kickers love kicking indoors. The elements are not a factor, and right now, the Falcons are within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion of a tie game.
Brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be. By the Intel Pentium 4 processor, the center of your digital world. And by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Doug Bell along with Dave Craig. The Falcons have worked their way back to at least a manageable situation where it's 28-20. Defense has stiffened. Feely kicks off now. Kevin McDougal is deep, standing in his end zone. 1 foot in the end zone, and here he comes. McDougal. Flags come flying in. McDougal is brought down at the 22. This Colts offense has gone from looking like a world beater to one that has really struggled in the second half. Ron Blum talking it over. Goes against the Falcons.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 50, Atlanta, 15 yards, first down.
Artie Ulmer called for the personal foul.
Dan Reeves is wondering what did he do. Artie's pleading his case over there, and they didn't really say exactly what happened.
Falcons special teams coach
Joe Deaconose trying to figure out what happened, why it happened, who did it, and nobody's explaining anything to him.
1st and 10 now from the 38. Good field position for the Colts. Hand off to Dominic Rhodes. Goes over the left side. Ed Jasper on the stop. Hey, remember, coming up in the second half of our doubleheader, Brett Favre and the Pack look to stay on top of the NFC Central when they take on the Tennessee Titans. A full day of NFL action continues next on Fox. And yes, for those of you...
Much better, much smarter, more within himself, and he's got Amon Green to help him out. A running back can make a quarterback look really good.
You're right, Amon Green, a potential MVP candidate. Peyton Manning with that pump fake. Looking down the sidelines for Marvin Harrison, and that time, Ray Buchanan was stride for stride with the All-Pro Harrison.
Well, when Ray Buchanan came in last night, he said, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to be matched up on Marvin. I'm looking forward to the challenge. Just like Bratsky and Whitfield, there's challenges all over the place, personal battles that are going on. Ray Buchanan was talking. He's very happy about it. He says, you know what? I'm going to try to go out there. Marvin Harrison's a great receiver. I think I'm a great cornerback. We're going to have fun. Let's see what happens tomorrow.
And he's done a good job. Only 4 catches for 38 yards for number 88. And there they are matched up again on 3rd down and 7. Falcons rushing only 4, Manning with all sorts of time, and he takes off running. Gets the first down and scampers out of bounds.
Last week, Aaron Brooks burnt the Falcons on 3rd and 10 and 3rd and 12. You just don't expect that out of Peyton Manning. But when he sees that side of the field, they're all in man coverage, he'll drop back. He's looking down the field. His offensive line is giving him all kinds of time. He sees a hole. It's time to go. You got to know when that journey's over with, though. And Peyton Manning runs as far as he can get, and then he gets out of bounds. That's a good job. He's not known as a scrambler, but his ability to run on occasion definitely helps him convert and make it another first down.
13-yard pickup, his first carry of the day. That's on the Fox box. The Vikings have the lead on the Detroit Lions. Dominic Rhodes on the draw, right up the gut, first down, breaks a tackle, still going. Down to the 10-yard line, Dominic Rhodes, 35 yards.
Well executed by the offensive line, and Ronnie Bradford missed the tackle, put his head down, enabled Dominic Rhodes to go another 10 or 15 yards. Here you can see, you're just going to watch, he's going to run right through the gut right there. One of the Falcons guys runs right by it. He's run down the field. Bradford puts his head down. There's another 10, 15, 20 yards that Dominic Rhodes made because of a missed tackle. And also they could have had Dominic Rhodes in the backfield, but because of a missed tackle there, Colts have another first down.
1st and 10 from the Falcons' 11-yard line. And again, they hand off to Rhodes to the outside, shifts into 5th gear. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Number 2 of the day for Dominic Rhodes.
Much of what we saw in the first half, we get to see it again in the 4th quarter here. They wall off over here. Dominic Rhodes takes the ball out, not touched by anybody until he gets down by Ashley Ambrose. He's not able to stop Dominic Rhodes from getting to the end zone. Touchdown Colts. They're displaying again what they showed in the first half.
Vanderjagt calmly kicks the extra point, and after a quiet 3rd quarter, the Colts strike. They lead 35-20. Dominic is the man. Last drive was 62 yards, all on the ground, 13 from Peyton Manning, and the rest was that young man, Dominic Rhodes. He has been impressive.
What a day he's had. They made people forget about Edgerrin James for a little bit today.
For a little bit. Derek Vaughn. Again looking for that wedge. And he finds it. He breaks free. Turns on the afterburners. Vanderjagt, bad back and all. Brings him down at the 26-yard line. 65-yard return by Derek Vaughn.
There's a flag, a late flag.
A flag back at the 45. And it's holding against the Falcons.
During a return, holding number 52, Atlanta. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down, Atlanta.
Matt Stewart gets called for the holding penalty, which brings that electrifying return all the way back.
Well, tell you what, Derek Vaughn has a good, he's right there getting held right there all over the place, right in front of everybody. And Derek Vaughn just taking the ball down there, but it's all called back because of the holding penalty.
1st and 10 from the 34. Chandler straight back. Wide open is Terrence Mathis. And let's check in with James Brown in Hollywood.
Hey, Doug, Minnesota has scored 17 unanswered points in the 3rd quarter, 14 by this guy, Yeah, he wants to play today. Randy Moss hauling in his second touchdown reception, 24-20 Minnesota. And then take a look at the A-Train, 5 yards to pay dirt. Chicago spanking the Bucks, 27-3. Back to Doug and Dave.
All right, JB, I love it in Chicago. It's raining, it's cold.
Football
the A-Train,
weather, right.
dirty uniform. That's good stuff. And the Lions look like they're going to go 0-13. Tony Martin out of bounds at the 31. There's still time now, 10:06 on the clock, but the Falcons need a touchdown right now. They can't waste any more time. Hey, I hear it. I hear the motors, the engines, the roars. NASCAR returning to Fox, February 2002. Looking forward to it. The first year was unbelievable on Fox, and the ratings were unbelievable. There you see Chris Chandler, the veteran, looking deep, looking for Tony Martin, and the flag. It took a second to get it out of his back pocket, but they were holding Tony Martin.
Tony Martin did a good job of acting on that play, but I think Jeff Burris definitely had him by the shirt somewhere, and you know, Tony Martin's been around long enough. He knows how to get a call.
Pass interference, number 20, Indianapolis. First down.
So Jeff Burris, who might have gotten away with one on Finneran on the last drive, this time gets
caught. We're going to watch right here. This is where Tony Martin is. He's got Burris one-on-one. He's just running down the field. And you can see Jeff Burris is grabbing hold of him a little bit. But Tony Martin also stopped. I mean, had he kept going, it wouldn't have looked so bad like pass interference. But like I said, he's an experienced veteran. He knows how to get a call and stop the clock.
This is the 6th time the Falcons have been in the red zone against the Colts. They've had 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. Chandler looking for Maurice Smith out of bounds. We talked to Chris yesterday. Said his father-in-law, John Brody, doing much better. Suffered that stroke, and he says Brody is doing good.
I think he said John was sitting home by himself. They kind of made him stay there and watch the game. Diane must be doing something, but it's good to hear that John's doing okay. And, you know, Chris is out here and doesn't have to worry too much about that, knowing that he's feeling a little bit better.
Yeah, he told Chris, hey, you just have to go make plays. That's what you have to do. This is the bottom line. It's pretty simple. Chandler needs to make a play now on 2nd down. Looking in the end zone, has Tony Martin, who's been open all day. Touchdown, Atlanta. And late flags after that.
Taunting. Wow, the Falcons look like they're in rhythm there, especially Chris Chandler is getting some time and throwing the ball on rhythm.
Dan Reeves will go for 1. They were debating whether to go for 2. Still lots of time in the clock.
Tony Martin right here on Jeff Burris is going to come down and run a post pattern. Ball's thrown on good time. He gets inside of him. Touchdown.
Touchdown was good.
They call that taunting. I mean, he just went to spike the ball, and there happened to be a Colts player standing there. I've seen field goal kickers do worse than that.
Well, they'll assess that penalty on the kickoff. Falcons will have to kick from 15 yards back. Feely now for the extra point. (35-27), and we'll take a break. Still lots of time, but now the Falcons D has to step up and stop Peyton Manning and Dominic Rhodes. 34 seconds.
15 yards.
The bad news, they'll have to kick off from the 15-yard line because of the taunting penalty called on Tony Martin when he spiked it right in front of Jeff Burris.
Well, like I said, I've seen worse things from field goal kickers, and all he did was turn and spike, and there happened to be a Colts player there. It wasn't even Jeff Burris, the one that he made the touchdown on. So a very upsetting call for Dan Reeves, and the Falcons forced them to kick from the 15-yard line.
Jay Feely, a short kick that McDougal fields at the 24. And he goes right up the middle to the 47-yard line, a 23-yard return. Chris Hudson on the special teams play for the Falcons, but now the defense has to come up with a 3-and-out.
Not sure the Colts are used to this. They're used to being pinned way back inside their 10-yard line. They got the ball on the 47-yard line. But you're right. The Colts have to come up with, the Falcons have to come up with some type of play. They already got one interception, but they got to hope for a fumble or some type of turnover here.
Travis Hall, Shane Dronette. Looks to bottle up Dominic Rhodes. There's the play action. Peyton Manning. Pollard wide open. Out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Gerald McBurrows on the tackle.
Well-designed play. They had 3 receivers over to the near side, and Pollard was the only receiver over there. And again, because of the play of Dominic Rhodes, they had to respect that run play action, enabling Marcus Pollard, who's right here, to go run a corner route. And then Peyton Manning has all time roiled. And, there's Marcus Pollard. And Gerald McBurrows is chasing him from behind because he sucked up on that play-action pass. So you would think the Colts might run the football there, and the Falcons thought the same thing, and there was the play action.
That was a 31-yard reception, 101 yards on the day for Pollard. What a weapon, 6'3", 248, and he can run. Dominic Rhodes gets stopped. Keith Brooking on the tackle.
Well, like I said before, all that play action, all those the yards that Marcus Pollard got right there is directly attributed to the play of Dominic Rhodes. He's got 172 yards today. He needs just 22 more to tell Alan Amici, a record from 1955. Most rushing yards by a rookie, so that's good company if he can catch up to that. He has the opportunity to do it yet today.
A picture of Alan Amici on the wall at the Colts complex the other day. Spent the day there. That's an impressive facility. Peyton Manning looks left all the way. Out to Dilger. Overshoots him. Let's go back to James Brown in Los Angeles. JB.
Hey, fellas, take a look at how the Jets kept a hold on their wild card spot. Take a look. Testaverde play action. Throws this in the back of the end zone to Anthony Beck. That was the go-ahead touchdown, and the Jets win it by 1 over Chris's Bengals. 15-14. Back to Doug and Dave.
All right, JB. That was huge.
Well, the Jets are finding a way to win. Now the Falcons, they have to find a way to win, but the Colts are back knocking on the door here looking for more points.
Yeah, the Giants found a way to win yesterday on Fox. That time of year, you got to make plays. Dominic Rhodes has made plays all day, but this time he gets collared up around the shoulders by Patrick Kearney.
Well, that's kind of a safe play. I mean, you're in field goal position. You got, the NFL's most accurate field goal kicker, Mike Vanderjagt. And, you make it 38-27 here. It's a 2-score game. So I think they're playing it a little bit close to the vest on that one, and they're going to expect the field goal to be made.
A 39-yard field goal attempt. Vanderjagt 5 for 5 from that distance this season. The Tony Martin penalty, so big.
He's a tall kicker.
Yeah, Vanderjagt connects. Adding to the Colts lead. That was a costly penalty for the Falcons, and they'll try to come back.
What would you do if someone passed you the keys to a Pontiac Grand Am for a week?
We're going to drive as fast as we can to San Francisco.
We're doing big things for the Pontiac Grand Am. Big things, baby. Recon Park next 3. That's
Outside in Indianapolis, a good day to be inside. In the fourth quarter, it has been wild. 20 points total for the Falcons and Colts. Doug Bell along with Dave Craig. Quentin McCord is deep for the Falcons from his own 1. McCord. Good coverage by the Colts. Much improved in that area this afternoon. Donnell Thompson activated off the practice squad today with a big special teams tackle. Tonight on Fox, deck the halls with Sunday's best. Be sure to catch brand new episodes of King of the Hill, The Simpsons, Malcolm in the Middle, and a new episode of the new X-Files. You will not want to miss. It all starts tonight, 7:30, 6:30 Central. Sunday's BST is right here on Fox. That's best, by the way. Detroit has rallied to take the lead on Minnesota. Chandler. The Algie Crumpler, who gets crumpled by Sam Sword.
I'm sure LG wants to go back and say to Chris, look, would you like to reconsider your decision on that read? And he goes right in there and runs into Mr. Sword, who's getting his first start and having a great game. Chris Chandler comes back and throws an inside slant. and he meets Mr. Sword head on. And Sam Sword's had a great game today too. We need to mention that because he's filling in for Rob Morris, and he's just playing a spectacular football game.
Chandler with time. Again goes back to Crumpler. He tried to get his feet in, and no, did not. Bashir on the coverage. Crumpler was there trying to get them both down.
That's one as a receiver. You should get your feet down in bounds right there. I mean, I know he's standing there, but he tries to get his right foot down, then his left foot should just drag in. And kind of does right there. I'm a little bit surprised that, you know, they don't look at these type of plays like that.
There's one and two. The toe came down. Must have felt his heel was out of bounds.
They are going to review it. Dan Reeves hit his button, and then that signified to Ron Bloom that we're going to look at this play.
Dan Reeves has been upset.
Atlanta is challenging a ruling on the field that it was an incompleted forward pass.
Because of Tony Martin's penalty in the end zone. And prior to that, the long kickoff return was nullified by the holding. Didn't like those calls.
He probably thinks just the law of averages will come down from him.
There's one.
Now it's got to be conclusive, like we always say. It's got to be without a shadow of a doubt, basically. But he could have done better by getting his toe down to make it look easier.
I think his toe came down before the heel came down. We shall see if they see it the way we think it happened. The Atlanta challenge.
His right foot is down, then his left foot comes down. This one isn't as good an angle as we had before, but I think this will be overturned and it'll look as a completion for the Falcons. Right there's his left toe comes down. Did his left toe get down before his heel got down? I'm sure it must have been, because that's what it appears to me.
That's what Ron Blum is looking at right now.
You know, we talk about the points that were scored in the fourth quarter. The Falcons are the worst in NFL, giving up 132 points in the fourth quarter. And in the fourth quarter, the Colts only scored 43, but they scored 96 points in the third quarter. So the Falcons give up a lot of points. They give up 141, which is an NFL worst in the second quarter, which was proved to be true. It was 21-14 points scored in the second quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, they give up 132 points. That's where you lose a lot of games.
Receiver's second foot, the toe hit in bounds, but the heel hit out of bounds. Therefore, it's an incompleted forward pass.
He said the toe hit in bounds. That should mean it's a completion.
The entire foot has to be in.
What about one knee equals a foot? I don't agree with that. If his toe hit in bounds, just like Dan Reeves is arguing, if he just said his toe hit in bounds, he's in bounds. If your toe hits in bounds before your heel hits out of bounds, you're in bounds. The referee said it correct, but ruled it wrong, I believe.
Atlanta's charged a timeout.
He said his toe hit in bounds. That's all you don't have to say anything after that.
He sure did. So the Falcons charge with a timeout. It's 3rd down and 10. First down. Finds Terrence Mathis.
Doesn't matter.
35. 17-yard pickup.
And then there's a flag. It might be a late hit on Chris Chandler. We'll see. Yep.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 90, Indianapolis. 15 yards, first down.
Mark Thomas, 10th-year man out of NC State.
You see Chris Chandler just standing here, delivers the ball, and then he takes 1 and 2 steps and hits Chris Chandler late. That's an easy call for an official to make right there.
So that puts the Falcons in midfield with 6:55 and counting.
They need to get up here with more of a sense of urgency, being down like they are. They need to get up here and start getting to the huddle and getting the plays out.
They need points. Chandler gets swarmed under. Ellis Johnson gets his 2nd sack of the season.
That would be more along the lines of a coverage sack or an inability to get open type sack, because the offensive line gave Chris enough time there. He just couldn't find anybody open. But I still think they need to get in and out of the huddle a little bit quicker. Not panicky, but just to get up there and show a little bit more sense of urgency.
Chukwuokore was also in there. And there's Maurice Smith bending over on the sideline. Chris Chandler rolls right. Pulls up, nowhere to go.
That's a bad feeling. That's a bad feeling.
Been there before, huh?
He looked over to his left, and all he saw was offensive linemen. Bratsky finally chases him down.
That's Chad Bratsky. Has now 5.5 sacks on the season.
I mean, if you're trying to roll out to get away from the rush and you still get sacked, I mean, you're like, well, what else can we do? And I saw Chris, he looked back to his left, and all that was there was offensive linemen.
Sacked 9 times a week ago by New Orleans, 5 times today. It's 3rd down and a bunch, 19. Chandler over the middle.
Good play, Finneran.
Found Brian Finneran just short of the 1st down.
That takes a lot to go across the middle and catch a ball like that.
18-yard pickup. It'll bring up 4th down and 1. Good throw by Chandler.
Good throw and good concentration by Finneran. Now, you know, they have to make something of that play. A lot of miscommunication by the Falcons as they go up the line of scrimmage.
Maurice Smith back in there. The last time it was 4th and inches, they went with Smith. Same formation, double tight. Christian, the blocking back. Smith again gets stood up. Same play, same result. Colts take over on downs.
Where has this Colts defense been for the last 5-6 weeks? This is something we haven't seen too much of lately, and the Colts haven't seen too much of it either. Big 4th down play. The Colts dominate the line of scrimmage. Pile up, everybody. They attack. They wanted to stop them more on 4th down than the Falcons wanted to make it on 4th down. Therefore, the Colts have the ball right now.
Chuka Wakori celebrating. So is Sam Sword, who's had a big game. I wonder about the call. Just like on the last 4th and inches, you have Maurice Smith, who has a bad knee, cartilage damage, bad ankle, high ankle sprain. You got Bob Christian, who's averaging 9 yards a pop, a big burly guy who's healthy. And they go with the injured player who can't really push off. Colts take over. Dominic Rhodes right up the middle.
A lot of times a coach after a game will say, well, if we don't make it twice on 4th down, then we don't deserve to win the game. But at the same time, you could say, well, yeah, but is there any other play you could have called on it? Maybe the second 4th down play, because obviously it didn't work the first time. But it just goes to show that the Colts defensive line manhandled the offensive line. We talked about the young inexperience of that offensive line right up the center, the 3 guys, the guard, center, and guard. And that's where they tried to run the football, and they were ineffective both times.
You saw Chad Bratsky. He mentioned pride the other day when we were talking to him. They want to finish this season 8-8. Dominic Rhodes works his way out of a tackle.
There he took a potential 4 or 5 yard loss and made it into maybe a yard gain. That was a big play.
Timeout, Atlanta. Their second charge, timeout.
Falcons stop the clock at 3:57. The running game has been something with Dominic Rhodes leading the charge.
Dominic Rhodes, like I said before, for today, he's made people forget about Edgerrin James. They talked about the loss of Jerome Pathon, Mike Peterson, and Terrence Wilkins, but Dominic Rhodes, it's been his show all day today. It's helped out the receivers, it's helped out Peyton Manning, it's helped the defense stay off the field, keeps them more fresh so they can stop another team when it's 4th down.
That running game is so important. 2 big categories: running the football, stopping the run. Colts have done well in both categories.
And it allows for play action pass, better protection from your offensive line. Makes the defense a little bit unsure. Did he hand the ball off? And with Peyton Manning being as good at the play fakes as he is, gives you more opportunities to get receivers open downfield.
190 yards on the ground for the Colts. Credit those big guys up front. Falcons come with pressure up the middle. Peyton tosses it out to Trevor Inslee. Scampering down the sidelines and out of bounds to stop the clock. Probably should have stayed in bounds.
Right. Trevor's going to learn a few things, but in the process, he's having fun doing it. You know, like we talked about not catching the ball inside the 10. And had he just fallen down or moved to the inside, you can see this is a sight adjuster. There's a blitz. Peyton Manning gets rid of the ball quick. I talked about earlier. You blitz like that, play man-to-man, you miss a tackle. The opportunity for a big play is there. And we were talking about the Falcons earlier, but Trevor Inslee's got to learn to stay in bounds. Yeah, Peyton Manning knows what's going on. He didn't want him to run out of bounds. He'll hear about it on film tomorrow or on the sidelines right now.
Dominic Rhodes is taking some hits. That clock is ticking away. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Rhodes only 5'9", 208 pounds from Midwest Texas State. Really impressed this Colts coaching staff in training camp. You see, those legs are solid, strong. That's where his power comes from.
And his power comes from the big fellas right in front of him as well. They've had a terrific day, the offensive line. Howard Mudd should be proud of his players, his offensive linemen today.
Closing in on the 3-minute mark. Peyton Manning taking his time. There's the play action fake. Over the middle, Marvin Harrison. What a grab by Harrison down to the 5.
I think I've seen that play diagrammed on a commercial before.
28 yards. You know, Ray Buchanan told us yesterday, hey, Marvin Harrison never stretches out, never goes after the ball because Peyton always puts it right in his hands. That time, he helped out his quarterback.
Well, we're going to see, just like he shows on the on that commercial, the play action pass, it allows him one-on-one. There's no safeties back there. Peyton Manning throws the ball up there. He doesn't catch for a touchdown for Peyton Manning's quarterback rating, but it still is a very effective play. It's one of the few times that Ray Buchanan has allowed Marvin Harrison to catch a big pass today.
Dominic Rhodes right up the middle. You know, we're playing indoors, Dave, but if we were outside in the rain and the slush, which is outside Indianapolis now, Peyton Manning's uniform would not be dirty because he hasn't been touched by this Falcons defense.
And that's thanks a lot to Dominic Rhodes right there. That's the reason that he hasn't been touched too much today.
We'll take a break. Colts taking a break. They're about to break a 5-game losing streak. Back to Indy after this. On the clock, Doug Bell and Dave Craig. It has been an offensive show for both teams. A fun game to watch.
More fun for the Colts.
Yeah, Waverly Jackson's checked in as an eligible receiver. Number 74, we saw that play in practice, but they'll hand it off to Dominic Rhodes, who runs into a wall. That's hurting the average yards per carry average these last few. No gain. It'll bring up 3rd and goal.
That's a 2-minute warning.
And it takes us to the 2-minute warning. We'll be back after this message on Fox. 3 years ago, the Falcons, Chris Chandler, made it all the way to the Super Bowl. This season, they were 6-4. With the Rams and the Saints coming to the Georgia Dome, they were looking good, but now about to drop their 3rd straight to fall to 6-7. Dominic Rhodes to the left side looking for help. And they knock him out of bounds to stop the clock.
He tried to stay in bounds, but when you run a sweep like that and it gets strung out that far, it's hard to do that. But another smart play, young kid Dominic Rhodes, he's got to learn to stay in bounds. That's more important than trying to fight for that extra half a yard.
Well, this was a golden opportunity loss for the Falcons as Vanderjagt will come on for the field goal. They have the Bills, Dolphins, and St. Louis Rams remaining on their schedule. They could finish 9-7. They're not out of it. But this defense has given up huge yards today, 515 against the Colts. Vanderjagt strokes it through, a 21-yard field goal attempt, making it a 14-point game.
Well, the potential, the possibility is still there, but I got to give a lot of credit to the Colts. You know, when we talked to them Friday, I asked a lot of the players and coaches even is how difficult has it been going to practice each day, knowing that you've lost 5 games in a row. This is not what your expectations were. And they all said the same thing. They talked about the character of the players, the character of the coaches, keeping everyone together, you know, not giving up on the season. So they go out there and they practice hard. That's a hard thing to do when you lose 4 or 5 games in a row. So they got to be very happy to finally put a smile on their face knowing that they've won a game, or pretty soon they have the opportunity to win a game. It's got to be a good feeling. But I wouldn't celebrate too early if I was them, but they've been through a lot lately. And on the other flip side of that is the dejection of the Atlanta Falcons, knowing that you come in here, you get a chance to move up in the playoffs. You see some other teams getting beaten on the ride home. You go, man, if we would have done this, we could have been up in this situation. So it's a very difficult situation for the Falcons to be in. And normally they are a better road team. They just didn't bring their good road game with them, especially in the first half.
Bob Christian has had a fine season. And the Falcons now hope to put together a 3-game winning streak. On top of this 3-game losing streak that has them at 6-7. Darian Gordon out to the 38. Derek Vaughn, excuse me. 41-27 the score, 1:45 on the clock. And here comes Chris Chandler.
Well, what the Falcons need to do is score and score as quickly as they can. And, you know, try not to throw an interception. You got 4 downs here. The important thing is to get a score and put it up on the board.
And a Colts player is down. It's Jeff Burris. Got shaken up on that kickoff.
You might wonder why he's down right near the sideline, but because it's Jeff Burris and he needs to be out there in the secondary, they told him to take a knee here so you stop the clock and so that the Colts can get who they want out there for Jeff Burris. So that's a smart veteran play by Jeff Burris.
For an injury in the last 2 minutes.
Let's check the playoff picture now. There you see the divisional leaders. And Tampa Bay loses to go to 7-6. Atlanta will fall to 6-7.
Well, here's the big one right here. You see this right here. Tampa Bay 7-6. Had the Falcons won today, they move up, and also they have a better conference and division record. Maybe not division, but their conference record is better than Tampa Bay. So a big opportunity that they let pass by the wayside here unless they can make something big happen in the next minute and 45 seconds.
Chandler straight back to Bob Christian, who runs out of bounds for a first down. Since 1990, a number of 9-7 teams have made the playoffs. But the Falcons would have to run the table now. Beating Buffalo, I can see that. Miami and St. Louis, I'm not so sure. And even Buffalo can score points, and the Falcons defense has given up a ton. They came in ranked 28 in the NFL. Maurice Smith runs out of bounds to stop the clock.
That was a good point made up. We heard somebody yell he's going backwards. If he stops his forward progress, they could keep the clock going technically.
We talked to the veterans, Bob Whitfield, Chris Chandler, Terrence Mathis yesterday. They all felt really good, very confident. They all talked playoffs. But today the Colts made the plays they did, and Chandler fumbles the football.
That should just about do it right there.
Ellis Johnson causes the fumble. Chad Bratzky falls on it, and that does it. It's been a good game for Bratzky and company. Chad's been battling a high ankle sprain all season, has been playing. Many players wouldn't play with that sort of injury. Bratzky has done it.
Well, he's a veteran. He talked about the injuries he's had to his ribs and his knees and his ankles, and you know, they come in there and they make some big plays today, and like you said, Vic Fangio's got to be happy with the play of his defense today. They've been maligned over the last few weeks, and a lot of that's been from turnovers, but today they forced the action. They made things happen. They put pressure on Chris Chandler, and they were successful doing that.
Indy has 6 sacks today, all by different guys. 6 different players recorded a sack. Peyton Manning goes down to 1 knee. Coming up, and for those in Indianapolis, you will see the Pack against the Titans. Today's game is being produced by Larry Lancaster and directed by Rich Dewey. Our AD is Bob Grossman, broadcast associate Eric Billigmeyer, and the technical producer Joe Stevens. The studio show produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy, the associate director Jennifer Love, the senior producer Fox Sports Bill Brown, the executive producers Ed Gorin and Dave Hill. A frustrating road trip for the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, before we go there, I just want to tell all those people thank you too, because this is an opportunity for me as well, and I've enjoyed the heck out of it, and hopefully I'll have more opportunities. But this has been fun, and thank you, Doug.
Hey, Dave, it's been great getting to know you. I admired your career for a long time because you played for so long.
Well, I was very fortunate, very blessed. But I'll tell you right now, there's nobody happier, I don't think, than Jim Mora, the Colts, Tom Moore, all of them, because it's been a long time coming and very dejected from Dan Reeves. But my hat's off to Jim Mora. He's weathered some stuff there. And Terrence Mathis, you see, Sean Jefferson. Dominic Rhodes, though, he's the story of the day. The way he ran the football and his offensive line blocked for him. Well done.
Chad Cota will take that bandage off and appear on television tonight here locally. He had a big stop on that 4th and inches play.
He definitely had a nose for the football on that one, and it shows right here. I mean, I don't think he'll mind.
Oh, Colts fans are looking good. The final score, 41-27. For Dave Craig, I'm Doug Bell. Stay tuned for our second game on Fox, the Packers and the Titans. Log on to foxsports.com. We'll see you soon. The Colts are celebrating.
Fox Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League. Stay tuned for the second game of your NFL doubleheader.
For the Indianapolis Colts, Monday night was not very pretty. But if you ever want anybody not worried about, oh boy, we're going to lay it down at Peyton Manning, and he's going against Chris Chandler, one-time draft pick. That was Ron Meyer in the 1988 Colts. Chandler was the number 3 pick, the top quarterback pick that draft. So that's the quarterback battle. Manning, Marcus Pollard over the middle, 27 yards, same drive, another quarter. Manning, Pollard 1 yard, 14-0 Indianapolis. Now, wait a minute. Didn't they start the year like this, Tom?
Yeah.
And then there's Dominic Rhodes. No Edgerrin James. But
yeah, Dominic Rhodes reverses field right here. Watch Adam Meadows right there with the great block to get him outside. And Dominic Rhodes, an awfully big day today.
Then the next play, Manning to Ken Dilger, and he leaps into the end zone. Touchdown. Colts lead 21-7. Peyton having fun. They get a lead. And the one-time Colt, one-time everyone, Chris Chandler to Brian Finneran. He's in again. Touchdown, 21-14. Later in the second, a wild first half, and a day when not a lot of scoring early on. This game had plenty of it. Trevor Inslee is Inslee the end zone. What a nice throw and catch.
Yeah, great job of laying out for Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning delivering it where it could be caught.
And then as Inslee's in, Inslee for the Colts, but Ashley Ambrose for the Falcons sets up a field goal, makes it 28-20, still a game until the human highlight reel. Dominic Rhodes, 35 yards. You know, he ran well Monday night. Hey, look, he's not on the stature of Edgerrin James, but he's got nice moves, got big, quick cuts, and his second touchdown of the day. Rhodes and the Colts win at 41-27. You're going to like the names here, Tommy, as the Colts win it. 177 yards for Rhodes, the 3rd highest rookie total for a Colts running back. The only ones ever better in a game, Alan Amici, Lenny Moore. That's a nice list.
Yeah, 325 yards passing as well for Peyton Manning, and nice to see him bounce back psychologically.
And after Atlanta had a nice season, they have lost 3 in a row to fall out of it.